Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Depending where you are domiciled in this part of the world. This is from me, Biafra TV, bringing you a message of hope. And to remind those you see in my stream, I am here today because of them, to tell them the difference, or to tell the world difference between Brgie and the usually declared, difference between government in exile that issue declaration. That is the transition word, is why I'm here to explain to this Omoso no Mubingo, Nandi Ibongi Achawowo, Madam Lazuba, the Madam. How far now? So based on that, I am here seeing my man Amaj. Wow, thank you so much. You are the first. You've been waiting for us. We are here. We want to prove difference this evening between what people call Brgie of Crc Bgc Puc, Umuajani, Umuchineke, na Umundibo. I am here this evening to trash and school them. I want to school them this evening. I want to start from Shomo and Bryce Nokoma and the fake secretary to Madam Uku Benze, to this Madam Uku Barampi. So I want to give you the difference under all international law and under all the article, the difference between Brgie and the USB declared under international law. The difference, what I'm here to teach you this is, so you will know that USB is not your mate. That's naina ganiru niru, manena bridge bela ashiazo. And we are not ready to repeat class. Why we have every material that prove that we have passed this class. So why are we repeating class? Why do we have to repeat the class? Is it because of the money that the enemies give to you is why you want to repeat the class? It's not properly. We are not going to do that. From today, we are going to find what they call transition between a government in exile with redeclaration and the 22 cabinet member, and with your Brgie without one cabinet, without 5 cabinet member, not empty portfolio, not hiding portfolio, physical. But before I go to that, I want to give to all of you claim Brgie that is fighting against you declared. Why the punishment that is waiting for all of you. I will start from today from the punishment that Ghana in Africa give those like these 7 individuals that you are seeing on my screen this evening. I want to start by playing the Ghana punishment to their citizens who was against the declaration of Ghana in 1957 by a name Kwame Nkrumah, who issued the declaration of Ghana in 1957 when they walked away from organization or an exile government to issue their declaration. After that declaration, something happened. What we are facing through today happened in Ghana. What we are facing through today, I said, what happened in Ghana. Do not just think that we are facing it alone. No. Do not just think our case is so peculiar. No. what is happening in our own case that the history is repeating all around. After I play the punishment from Ghana, then I'll go to comment section. Well, let me go there quickly. Amaji, greet you. Good evening from here. Xiaomi, if I see you. Good evening from here. Amaji, in the comment section. Oh, Kevin is with us today. Wow, wow, wow. We have our old friend here who always with us. Today he met us live. Wow, I'm happy to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. So, what we are going to hear, I'm going to first read out what's my question to the research. I said, I want the full information about the punishment Ghana gave to their own citizens that was against the Declaration of 1957. I want all information about court of no appeal for the citizens that was against the declaration and all the members that run to exile. What? With all the members that run to where exile. Remember that US citizens run away to exile. Now in Africa, people run to exile after they fought the declaration of Ghana in 1957 by a man called Kwame Nkrumah. Chioma Okoma and Bryce Okoma with your shenanigan and your individual who stand by you with Madam Kwole. My message is to you. So I am here this evening first to give you the punishment as affecting all of you in Biafra land before I will come to school you what it means for transition, how transition starts from a family. Start from your own family. When you are from 1, you go to 2, from 2, you go to 3, from 3, you go to 4. That's what they call transition. And the family continue transitioning. So without wasting much of our time, let us listen to this.
Following Ghana's independence in March 1957, Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah and the Convention People's Party, CPP, implemented strict legal, political, and penal measures to suppress opposition groups, primarily the Ashanti-backed National Liberation Movement, NLM, Iwi activists in Togoland, and the Northern People's Party. The Special Court of No Appeal, the tribunal frequently referred to as the Court of No Appeal, was formerly known as the Special Criminal Division of the High Court, established via the Criminal Procedure, Special Criminal Division, Act of 1961, and expanded under the 1963 Amendment. Structure and jurisdiction. Designed specifically to try cases of high treason, sedition, and political offenses, such as assassination plots like the 1962 Kulungugu bombing targeting Nkrumah. No jury and in-camera proceedings. Trials were held without a jury and were frequently conducted in camera, behind closed doors hidden from the public and press, inside the Supreme Court building and Christiansburg Castle at Osu. Absolute non-appealable verdicts. Under the law establishing this court, there was no right of appeal to any higher judicial body. Decisions were final. Executive overrule. When a 3-judge panel led by Chief Justice Sir Aku Korsa acquitted 3 prominent politicians, Tawiah Adamafio, Akko Adjei, and Kofi Crab, of treason in December 1963, Nkrumah immediately dismissed the Chief Justice, declared the court's judgment null and void, and reconstituted the special court with a single judge, Justice Sarkodie Adu, and a selected 12-man panel. The defendants were retried, found guilty, and sentenced to death, later commuted to life imprisonment. Full range of punishments imposed. Beyond the special court, the state deployed several legal mechanisms to punish political opponents. Preventive detention without trial, 1958 PDA. The Preventive Detention Act empowered the government to arrest and jail anyone suspected of acting against state security for up to 5 years.
Anyone acting against Ghana declaration, anyone even suspect that this person is acting against it, not even he come out open, some of those who come out openly. You will also hear the punishment they give to those who use their social media handle to fight against, insult Kwame Nkrumah and the cabinet members, and insult the declaration and distance themselves from the declaration. Listen.
Extended to 10 years without formal charges or trial. Over 2,000 citizens were jailed. Prominent founding fathers like Dr. J.B. Dankwa and Emmanuel Obetsebi Lamti died under harsh conditions in Ensawam medium security prison. Deportation and stripping of citizenship. The Deportation Act of 1957 allowed the state to expel any person deemed not in the interest of the public good. Although intended for non-citizens, it was routinely used against Ghanaian political opponents by stripping them of their citizenship rights. Outlawing political parties. The Avoidance of Discrimination Act of 1957 banned political parties organized along regional, ethnic, or religious lines. By 1964, a referendum turned Ghana into a legal one-party state, making opposition entirely illegal. Deposition of chiefs, opposition paramount chiefs, especially in Ashanti, were stripped of official state recognition, had their traditional stool revenues seized, and were replaced by government loyalists. Estimated numbers forced into exile. Exact figures vary because many crossed porous borders informally, but records document the following migration totals. Togo border exile, 1958 to 1961. French Togoland, later the Republic of Togo, documented approximately 5,700 registered political refugees who fled eastern Ghana following the 1957 Togoland plebiscite disputes and post-independence roundups. Prominent leaders and intellectuals, top opposition figures, including opposition leader Dr. Kofi Abrefa Busia, who fled in 1959, and intellectual leaders of the United Party (UP), fled to Western Europe, primarily the UK, and neighboring West African states to establish anti-Nkrumah exile coalitions. Overall estimates. Scholars and historical records estimate that between 6,000 and 10,000 Ghanaian citizens fled into exile between 1957 and the 1966 military coup that ousted Nkrumah.
I hope you listen to this. Is an African country here. This is an African country, our own. You had the punishment that they give to those who was against what? Declaration that took place in 1957. You even had a chance, you had about 3 prominent attorneys in Ghana that was, they tried to turn over the case and do mercy or favor. The government to remove them from their position, put them in prison for 10 years. That they put them in prison for 20 years, which is 10 years of imprisonment. Because of what? They try to twist the narrative of the government and the law. Try to show mercy. And what happened? They sentenced them. They stripped them off their position. Remove them from whatever they are doing. Because of what? They was against the declaration of Ghana. The same thing that you see these options here. This Lazuba, Shikodri, Mary Ike, aka Ibongi, Ojibongi Emogo, Ashawowo, aka Shika Mary, Shikodri Mary Ike, aka Ojibongi Emogo, Madam Ashawowo. Then nke a bụ nekute helmet n'isi ya na-claim professor and onye nkekwe na-akụ na di ya that is against usually declared. What I'm bringing out this evening is the punishment Ghana give to those like people like you in Ghana that was against the declaration. Like the same way all of few of you here that was against U.S. declared in Helsinki, Finland, November 20, 2024, is the punishment that Ghana give to their own citizens. What I'm playing to you, because U.S. is very far. Let's put it in that way, and that is why I am giving you this for you to know. I hope you heard when they said that even that Ghana strip off the citizenship of their own citizens. That rough estimate that over 10,000 of Ghana run to exile. Now they did what? They run to exile. It's not about hugging up a toe beer in the court. It's not about sleeping inside his body. That juju where you cannot go to touch, you cannot go to all about toe beer, and the truth must prevail. All of you was shocked when he mentioned USD to your mouth, letting Finland to that he knew that Biafra was redeclared November 29, 2024, all of you was crying. That's one single from him. All of you is crying till today. It's not about hugging him, embracing Brgie or whatever you are embracing. But the truth is that what is the right thing to do? What he believed on. He believed in documents, the legal documents. How to achieve our country. That is what he did, what he believed on. He never believed, and because of he never believed in Brgie. That is why he was preparing to issue the declaration of USB declared in Helsinki, Finland, before Nigeria, Finland took him away, put him in prison. And we are happy that he confirmed that when he was in prison, that the people of Biafra gathered in Helsinki, Latin, Finland, and issued a peaceful redeclaration of our lost nation. About to be prove it to all of us. So, as you are watching the program, or as you are listening to the program, I want you to pay attention closely when we dive into the difference between your Brgie and USB under all international law, and also why the international community like to work with the government in exile, particularly, especially the one that issued the declaration. So I am here this evening to do what? To send this message to all of you who is against the truth, the legal, and the way to diplomatic work to recognize our lost nation to be a full country. Based on that, my people, we are going to look at all round of why Obatobie said that until we achieve this document, until then, that we will stop making noise. But without this document, that we are making noise. We are going to find out today why Obatobie, Simon Ekpanyoko, said such a word and believe that it's only through this document is what will change what we are doing, and that we are going to stand where every other nation stand. And based on that, it is very, very imperative that we all today pay attention to this long program. To be honest with you, I sincerely want you to pay attention, get your popcorn, relax, because we are going to go into a too long session of this program this evening, if time could permit us. So, I want to ask this question in the comment section. On the two session, I have the one with the why international law follows or work with a government in exile that issue declaration and have documents, and they have up to 22 cabinet members, and why they are not working with Brgie without declaration and without documents, and 22 cabinet member. I don't know if you want us to go with that one. And the second one, the difference between Brgie of CRC, BGC, PUK, and USB declared. So which one do you want us to dive into first? As I am sharing the program, I want you to make your comments. The one that you want us to do what to first listen to this evening, or you want us to go the way I put it on the comment section, on the headline. I want you to make a choice to join me as you join me. So, which one do you think we should do? Quickly. Can someone answer the one that pleases your heart? Do you want us to know the difference between Brgie of Crc, Bgc, Puc, and the usually declared? Which one do you prefer to start with? I am waiting for your comments from the comment section. Then we can move and do the program properly. Because of what? Because of the enemies around us. And these days, we want to debunk them with their lies, with the document of all international law, so they will understand that Biafra movement is not about the standard of Radio Rama, the standard of Lazuba, aka Ojibonge Achoji Achawo. A woman without control. A woman without control. Okay. Let's go with the one as you have the headline on today's program. Please, I want you to share and like the program the way I am sharing to the content I have here, please. I want you to share and like the program so people may join us quickly to understand what we are doing here this evening. Remember that I have started playing the audio research of the punishment that Ghana give to their own citizen. That what is the offense? The offense is that they was against the declaration of the 1957 of Ghana. And they start calling the government all kinds of names. Some people start distance themselves from the government. Some people was cajoling the government and robbing the name of the declaration on the mud. Immediately, Ghana achieved recognition, take over their territory. They implemented a law that treats all these enemies around and put them to where they belong. So today, I want also to present you, like I have done before, that punishment. And that is the punishment you heard about court of no appeal, in referring to a court of no mercy. That is the lawyers who try to implement court of appeal indirect, that they will remove from their office, sentence them for 10 years. I hope you are following, because it's not about what you think, it's not about how you feel, it's not about who you come close, who does not come close. The issue is the real legal document. Do you have it? This is the document that lists that Ghana achieved recognition after their declaration. Ghana did not achieve recognition without declaration. Namibia did not achieve their country without issue declaration. No country, even America, issue declaration. And they also give punishment to those that was against their declaration. That over 80,000 citizens of America run away from their territory. So that is why we want to do this message out for you that is claiming empty Brgie, that is not any way we can achieve Biafra, that Biafra is not coming by noise or by organization or by those that claim they know it where they know nothing. Biafra can only come through a declaration document that Obatobie told you and I that until we issue this declaration and achieve this document is only when we stop making noise. And this is why we quickly ask this question. Show more, come Bryce no come. Do you have this legal document claiming that you are a professor? Professor of lies and deceit. Professor cannot say the truth. And you claim that you are a professor. So, my people, when you listen to today's program, there is no need to panic about USB, because USB is the only lifeline. USB is that legal part. USB is that document Obatobi told you and I that until we achieve the document, that is when we are going to stop making noise. And without this document, that all we are doing is noise making. I want to ask you, why you was against you? Is it because of it's a woman that issued the declaration? Are you God? And I also want you to know that this today, that Ngozi Oraveze, my DPM, is not the first woman that have issued a declaration of a country when leaders was arrested. I want to prove to you about 10 countries that their leader was arrested and a woman stood up, issued the peaceful redeclaration, and through that means they achieved their country till today. Number 1, I quote, Brazil, 1822, September 2nd, woman. The almighty Israel we are here today, that people are calling to come and serve them. Israel, number 2, 1968, March 14. March 14 is when a woman stand up, issue the declaration of Israel. Number 3, Belarus, 1990, July 27. A woman issue the declaration of Belarus. Africa, Congo DRC, 1960, June 30, a woman issued a declaration. What of the almighty Canada? In 1929, October 18, a woman. Number 6, Madagascar in Africa, 1960, June 26, woman. Tanzania, 1961, December 9, woman. Malawi, 1964, July 6, woman. Ivory Coast, 1960, August 7. This is the countries that the woman issued their declaration. What of Algeria? 1962, July 5th, a woman. Shiomo Okoma, Bryce Okoma, please tap that your phone holding in your hand to check this date and this name I mentioned here in these countries. If you can find out what I'm doing here, that a woman has issued declaration before our DPM, that what she did, that she repeated the history, and the history of the Guinness Book has carried her name as the lady who stood up after we have lost Biafran War in 1967 to 1970, transition to 2026, that a woman issued the declaration of Biafra with the name and titled United States of Biafra, with the name and title, not Brgie, like IPOB. There is no difference between Brgie and IPOB. Because Masna Khan was in IPOB when he said, at a time will come when we are going to form government in exile. The government in exile will give us to Biafra declaration to achieve recognition like every other nation. Because everything, there is a due process for you to achieve every goal. I have called out to 10 countries that women issued declaration. Out of these 10, Algeria is in Africa. Ivory Coast is in Africa. Malawi, Africa. Tanzania, Africa. Madagascar, Africa. Congo, Africa. And what the question should be, why did the woman is one that issued this declaration? Is women because of men was arrested, put behind the bars. In Brazil, in 1822, when the man who was in charge is traveling somewhere to let world know that they want their nation, that they are planning to redeclare, They arrested him by the British, put him in prison. The wife stood up and issued declaration. That is how Brazil was being declared by a woman. Because of what? The leader was arrested. All these countries I mentioned here was the countries that the leader was incarceration. And the women stood up and issued declaration today. Do you know any of these countries I mentioned? About 10 of them I mentioned here. Do you know about Brazil? Do you know about Israel? Do you know about Congo? Do you know about Ghana? And the many of them that I mentioned here, both Algeria, Belarus, Canada, and many of them like that. I hope you knows about them. These are the countries that the women stood up and take over and issued a peaceful declaration of their lost nation or declared a new one. They achieved recognition, and the leader who was in prison comes out, vote for to become the president of their nation. I hope you are following. So, as we proceed, it's a wonderful evening. So, before I kick on again, I see Mommy Doreen. Good evening from here. I see you, Henry. I see you. Thank you so much. I see Linus. Christian, I see you. Ekwe, my brother, thank you so much. My own, I greet you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I also see you here again. Aloy, thank you so much. I greet all of you. Odogweni with the building, the founding father. Tuale, so my salute. So I want to start again. I want to play first the punishment that America give to those that was against the Declaration of America. Listen, after that I will play the one from Ghana. Why am I doing this? I am doing this for this Oko, this Lazuba, aka Ojibonge Achoji Madam Ashawo, because now when they so listen to this as we proceed. After US, I will play Ghana.
Those who opposed the Declaration of Independence and supported the British Crown were not
those that opposed the Declaration of Independence 1770s in America. Today, these people that you are seeing on this screen, they not opposing our Declaration of Independence? Are they not opposing our Declaration of Independence? I hope you are listening and listen to this.
As loyalists or Tories, they made up roughly 15 to 20% of the American colonial population. Rather than widespread executions, American patriot authorities and local militias relied heavily on financial, civil, and social punishments. Property confiscation and financial penalties. Confiscation Act. State legislatures passed laws allowing local governments to seize land, homes, businesses, and personal possessions belonging to loyalists. These properties were auctioned off to fund the Revolutionary Army and support state budgets. Double or triple taxes. Loyalists were subjected to punitive tax rates, often required to pay double or triple what patriot citizens paid. Loss of legal protections. Courts stripped loyalists of civil rights, making it illegal for them to sue for unpaid debts, practice law or medicine, or run for public office. Banishment and forced exile. Expulsion. Many states enacted laws banishing prominent loyalists. If they returned without permission, they faced immediate imprisonment or execution. Mass migration. An estimated 60,000 to 80,000 loyalists fled North America during and after the war, resettling in Canada, Great Britain, or British colonies in the Caribbean. Informal and mob violence. Tarring and feathering. Local militias and patriot groups frequently used mob tactics to intimidate outspoken loyalists. Suspects were stripped, covered in warm tar and feathers, and paraded through town. Oaths of allegiance. Citizens were forced to sign public oaths renouncing King George III and swearing loyalty to the revolutionary government. Refusing to sign often led to house arrest, loss of weapons, or physical violence. Execution for treason, rare. While state governments established treason laws carrying the death penalty, executions were surprisingly rare. Revolutionary juries were generally reluctant to hand down death sentences for ideological loyalty alone. Capital punishment was typically reserved for those caught acting as active spies, leading armed loyalist guerrilla units, or committing high treason directly on the battlefield. The 1783 Treaty of Paris, which formally ended the Revolutionary War, included clauses urging states to restore confiscated property to loyalists. However, most American states ignored these recommendations, leaving the overwhelming majority of displaced loyalists with no compensation.
Are you hearing it? This is punishment America give to this kind of people that are here. And the time is coming when you are going to bring your achievements, when Obato was arrested. Because when you look at this thing, it's just like, let me give you an example. Your father is building a house, and the house has got to the lintel level, and something happened. He could not be able to build the house and for people to pack in. Then instead of you to complete with the last money that is in the house, you take that money to go and rent house and start living while you abandon that one and you are waiting for your father to resurrect from death to come and start building the house again. And it's like when Oga Oromo boy, Nano, then he gave them money and he's going somewhere. And he said, take this money, it's for you. And in front of them, two decided to dig ground and bury his own money. The other one used his own, went to club and finished it up. The other one's open business. Before Oga will return, he already bought a car, married a wife, built a house. And he keep the memo that the boss give to him. When Oga comes back, he said, my master, when he asked them, what have all of you achieved with the money? The other one went to the ground and he opened the ground and bring the money. Like that. He said, okay. He called the other one, he said, I use my money, I go to club, it has finished. He said, okay. But what of you? He said, the fourth one said, boss, as you give me this money, you give us this money as you left, I invested this money into a business. From investing this money, I buy a car, I build a house, I also married your wife. And this is the main one, the capital you give to me. All in this shop you are seeing here was the gain that I've made for this money give to me. Is it not that one is a good son? Is it one that buried the money on the ground? That one boss to come back and he give his money like the way he kept it. So the man will start afresh. Or is it the one that used the money to go and carry on wine like Lazuba Shika Medike? Now, if you are the one to look at these people, who is the one that did well? The first one, no. The second one, the third one, the fourth one. Amongst my explanation, who is the one that is doing the right thing? Now, Obatobi is coming out. What is your achievement? What have you put in a place since he left? What he put in a place, is it recruiting Ogenka as a prime minister? What he put in a place, is it forming from Imam Madu to Brgie to BGC? Is it what you're going to represent Obatobi? What you're going to present to him when he comes out, when he asks you, what is your job? He told us that he will give 2 people, 3 people, 4 people the same job. But he will let all of you know that 4 of you are doing the same job. That what he wants is out of the 4, that he will pick the best. That out of this 4, he will do what? He will pick the best. That is why I'm asking all of you, by playing the punishment that Ghana gives to the citizen, before I bring you to the real program of today. So after this, I will tell you welcome.
Following Ghana's independence in March 1957, Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah and the Convention People's Party, CPP, implemented strict legal, political, and penal measures to suppress opposition groups, primarily the Ashanti-backed National Liberation Movement, NLM, Iwi activists in Togoland, and the Northern People's Party. The Special Court of No Appeal, the tribunal frequently referred to as the Court of No Appeal, was formerly known as the Special Criminal Division of the High Court, established via the Criminal Procedure, Special Criminal Division, Act of 1961, and expanded under the 1963 Amendment. Structure and jurisdiction. Designed specifically to try cases of high treason, sedition, and political offenses, such as assassination plots like the 1962 Kulungugu bombing targeting Nkrumah. No jury and in-camera proceedings. Trials were held without a jury and were frequently conducted in camera, behind closed doors hidden from the public and press, inside the Supreme Court building and Christiansburg Castle at Osu. Absolute non-appealable verdicts. Under the law establishing this court, there was no right of appeal to any higher judicial body. Decisions were final. Executive overrule. When a three-judge panel led by Chief Justice Sir Aku Korsa acquitted three prominent politicians, Tawiya Adamafio, Ako Adje and Coffee Crab, of treason in December 1963, Nkrumah immediately dismissed the Chief Justice, declared the court's judgment null and void, and reconstituted the special court with a single judge, Justice Sarkodie Adu, and a selected 12-man panel. The defendants were retried, found guilty, and sentenced to death, later commuted to life imprisonment. Full range of punishments imposed. Beyond the special court, the state deployed several legal mechanisms to punish political opponents. Preventive detention without trial, 1958 PDA. The Preventive Detention Act empowered the government to arrest and jail anyone suspected of acting against state security for up to 5 years, later extended to 10 years, without formal charges or trial. Over 2,000 citizens were jailed. Prominent founding fathers like Dr. J.B. Dankwa and Emmanuel Obetsebi Lamti died under harsh conditions in Ensawam medium security prison.
This founding father was, let me give you an example, like let me say Odogwu Enugu here, who went to Finland and stand for declaration. He comes back and turns against the declaration. That is what the man I tell you, after he turns back, the law captured him. He died in prison. What was all these old fools that in America, like OBS and all of them, that are globbing around after they went to Finland and stand to issue declaration of USB. They come back, turn against it, call it USB charger, USB terrorist, USB, the other one. After calling all those names, after this founding father, had the word founding father, after he deviated, he start attacking the government that issued declaration, start insulting them, start calling them all kinds of names. Immediately Ghana Shiro recognition. What happened? They enacted the law of no court of appeal, court of no mercy. What happened? He died in prison. Imagine a founding father. Imagine a founding father who died in prison because of what? Abuse and attack on the 1957 declaration of Ghana. I am doing this because when men undermine the truth will come back to hurt you. And Hadino follows up.
Deportation and stripping of citizenship. The Deportation Act of...
The deportation of what? Their citizens to that country where they are fighting against Ghana movement, Ghana declaration. Deportation. They deport Ghana citizens to another country, like what America did. Is it we that we're not going to do it? The court of no right to appeal. Under the side of the world, they call it court of no mercy. Imagine you being a Biafran and they deport you to Nigeria. Many of you will deported back to Nigeria. And many of you knew, like people of Ghana, that over 10,000 died in exile. They was buried in exile. Over 80,000 of America was buried in exile, died in exile, live in exile, never come back. That is what is holding these enemies, this agent of one Nigeria, that they do not, at the age of the so-called Shoma one tries to come, they could not have this phone on their hand. What is the difference between Brgie without declaration and the USD with declaration? Government in Israel with declaration. You cannot such a question. Now I to go around all of you with this exposition under the law, not who you are, not your size, not what you think, but it must be under what Obatobi said until we issue this declaration. That is when we start having them through the what document. And these fools, these urchins, these umwezi, asachara arofa je tuofa na poto no okwu na-akụ na-asị ana brought to get up na brought to onwe gị down. That is where they belong.
1957 allowed the state to expel any person deemed not in the interest of the public good. Although intended for non-citizens, it was routinely used against Ghanaian political opponents by stripping them of their citizenship rights. Outlawing political parties, the Avoidance of Discrimination Act of 1957 banned political parties organized along regional, ethnic, or religious lines. By 1964, a referendum turned Ghana into a legal one-party state, making opposition entirely illegal. Deposition of chiefs, opposition paramount chiefs, especially in Ashanti, were stripped of official state recognition, had their traditional stool revenues seized, and were replaced by government loyalists.
Do you hear this? Because of the opposition that was against the declaration, Ghana conduct referendum that they are going to have only one party. Like America has only two parties when it's going to office of president. Ghana have only one party because of the enemy. So we knew. And the enemies can never manipulate any result or come to office to rule in Ghana. And what happened? They do referendum that they are going to have only one party name for the eyes of the good people to see what is going on. Not that enemy will come somewhere, manipulate election and won the election, then they will start destroying Ghana. Hey.
Numbers forced into exile. Exact figures vary because
TikTok,
many crossed porous borders informally. But records document the following migration totals. Togo border exile, 1958 to 1961. French Togoland, later the Republic of Togo, documented approximately 5,700 registered political refugees who fled eastern Ghana following the 1957 Togoland plebiscite disputes and post-independence roundups. Prominent leaders and intellectuals, top opposition figures, including opposition leader Dr. Kofi Abrefa-Busia, who fled in 1959, and intellectual leaders of the United Party (UP), fled to Western Europe, primarily the UK, and neighboring West African states to establish anti-Nkrumah exile coalitions. Overall estimates, scholars and historical records estimate that between 6,000 and 10,000 Ghanaian citizens fled into exile between 1957 and the 1966 military coup that ousted Nkrumah.
I hope you had it clearly. And remember what Obie told us about not South Korea that strip off the citizens of their own people. The law is also in the USB constitution. Hey, drop your emotion. Emotion will not serve you. Emotion can never serve you. Please, if you're watching for TikTok, I want you to like and share. Now, I have given you two countries here. What they did to those that was against their declaration. I hope you had it clearly. Against what? They made it openly. They stand against their declaration. These people did what? They stand against the Declaration of America, 1776. In Africa, Ghana, they was against the declaration being conducted by Kwame Nkrumah, 1957. You are hearing the punishment. Based on that, I'm transferring you into today's program. So as I welcome you, please welcome another person to join us. What I am doing this evening is this. Listen to my question and look at the answer. What is the difference between government in exile that issue peaceful pre-declaration and it has a document and a full cabinet members, and between Brgie without peaceful pre-declaration and no full cabinet member and no documents? That is our case, right? This is our case. For those who know about Obie for Brgie, about Obie will come back, start calling Biafrans again. Hey, contribute put money. We are going to declare it again. Let me tell you one thing. In all these countries I mentioned here, let me give a quick example. After the declaration of Algeria, they have 9 people, 8 against the GPRA that issued the Declaration of Algeria. Many of them push and try to start recognition to that extent. But when the world and every other countries in the world decided that it's a time to recognize Algeria to become their own country, what happened? They went ahead, leave all the organization, leave all the parties, leave all this upon, and recognize the government in exile that issued declaration. The same thing happened in Namibia. In Namibia case, after the declaration, 8 group was emerged. One of them, they called them Christian Nation, sponsored by South Africa, went ahead and issued another declaration of Namibia. And what happened? When time of the region come, UN and every country recognized the first that issued that declaration, not the second one. I want you to get something from there. You can see how many groups we have today. Do we have up to 9 that was against USB? When this 9 was against the GPLA that issued the declaration of Algeria, do they win? No. Because of the internal problem, the world will say, okay, you must unite yourself together before we're going to recognize you. No. The world follows a legal document. The world followed what? That document that is in the hands of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. That is the legal document Obie was saying. Until we get this document, that is when we'll stop making noise. Despite that this document, you are all noise makers. And you can see. If Obato Obie comes out, our DPM will give an account to the Prime Minister. When he was arrested, we be able to narrate the document that you ask us to get. And look at the document here. Look at how many mission heads we have. Look at how many countries that we have sent this document. And look at our allies, countries who agree that they're going to recognize us, that we're working together when you was in prison. And he will keep it. And he will call Shiomo Okoma, or Bryce Okoma, or Ogenkerie, or Mamadu Abu. Where is the achievement? What have you done that was not here? We form BGC, we form CRC, and we are coming to Finland to stand with you. That is our work. Our work is that we have been in Finland. Do you not see us? Being in Finland with Obato Obie in court, is it the legal document that he told us that until we achieve this, that is only the time that we have stopped making noise. Think before I play this Umokoko here, let us look at that document. Think it's a high time that I play this document. It's a high time. I'm gonna play it. Please let us remind them, because today's program is for them. Bear with me first. I want to play this about Obie, about document first, before I bring them and bring my analysis, my exposition on their head. Now, let's listen.
But what are we going to gain from this convention? What we are going to gain is that every document that we are going to generate from this convention become legal document that we'll be using for the political approach and diplomatic approach for the Biafra independence and recognition. This document will be sent to the United Nations. This document will be sent to the U.S. Department of State, U.S. or every department that foreign department, the Congress and all that. We have the European Union and every other region that we feel it's needed to have it to support Biafra at the UN. That's where the whole thing is going to start. Only then Biafra will have a name. Now it is only noise we're making. And Nigeria have understood this very well. They know where I'm going. And that's why they are restless. But I'm watching them. They are having problem with going to India.
Do you listen to that? Yes, Amaji. Shiomo Koma achievement is Ibioma. Hugging. The hugging of Judas to Jesus Christ. You know, one came as well. Judas is where we're getting Susu and Rewan came Mado. Two aka Shiomo Koma. Remember Benjamin Madubugu that was kissing Masina Nekano in Nigeria court. Today, I am asking, Where is Benjamin Madubugu? Where is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today? Is he still going to court? Is he now fighting against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Is he now fighting against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Look at them here. The history is repeating. Remember that in 2021, that IPOB distanced themselves from Obato Obie when he formed a government in exile. Also remember that in 2024, December 2nd, that IPOB distanced themselves from USD declared. Remember that on 20th of August 2026, that Chioma Okoma and her Brgie people distanced themselves from the word USB redeclared. Remember, the history is repeating. As we are keeping this history, I hope you are keeping it. Now, Obatobi has mentioned about this document. I am asking them, going to Finland, is that document he need to get for Biafra to go everywhere? That today, this document has been, USB has sent it to up to 224 countries in the world. Are they going to send Ibioma or Obatobie, more? Is what they're going to send? You are ignorance of the law can never be an excuse. When men and women undermine the truth, Adaino comes at last. So let us proceed. Let us proceed. And you are there. Obatobie choose our DPM as the chief of staff. And you are there. Obatobie told us, you are the surrogate, please protect the mandate. The mandate is not Brgie. The mandate is USB declared. The document is the mandate. Let us listen to them. After them, then I will dish out this one.
Friends, partners, stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning from Lati, Finland, on this day of the Lord, Thursday 20.
Yes, the achievement is good morning, dear friends of the Lord. Is the document right?
August 2026. As the British Secretary General, it has become necessary.
When Obatobie is here, are you British Secretary General? You? When Obatobie is here, I am asking you, Chioma Okoma and the Bryson, Lazuba, Chikodri, Merike, Madam Ibongi, aka Ashawo. What is your position?
Rest are not unequivocally, but the business and frankly ridiculous claim being circulated by mischief makers. Let it be clearly stated, firmly and without ambiguity, British Prime Minister Edna Simon Joko.
Oh, your achievement is Brigi Prime Minister Simon Njoko. That is the document you will give to him. That is your achievement. Your achievement is to wear tie. Amadu Hagamabun one by one. And the blood will be very far from your will be coming outside of water.
Issued, endorsed, or participated in any statement whatsoever.
The same way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never knew about Obatobie before coming to exile, but he said that he forbid anyone who will attack Simon Ebanjoko. The same Obatobie told when you are there and with your big wig and you are there, Obatobie said, you are the chief of staff, you are the surrogate, protect this mandate for me, not you. Are you not supposed to be ashamed of yourself? That is why you fight with Obatobie in prison.
So the false narrative being promoted by these actors. Please listen to the Deputy Secretary General
Please, I know that we don't have this to them and we have seen it, but there is reason why. So that is where I centered this program. Because of this word they said that Albert Obi never work with the government that has the document. Please bear with me. I don't want to play it for a long time. Just a short of time, I will remove it. Please. Just a short of time, I will remove it. Even I think this one is okay. So now I will leave it here. Now listen the difference. Listen. Like I told you, this is a long program today. I want you to have your chilled water and popcorn around you so we can go together. It's a very long one, though.
The legal distinction between these two structures lies in the transition from political intention to formal legal capacity under international law.
Are you hearing it? The legal distinction between the two structure lies in the transition from political intention to a formal legal capacity under international law, Brgie and USB. Now, under Brgie, it is what? It is a transition from political intention to a formal legal capacity under international law. With USB, we have transitioned to where? To the incapacity of the legal of all international law.
International law evaluates exiled entities based on whether they possess a complete constitutional body capable of acting as a state authority, de jure government, versus an incomplete political group or opposition movement.
Are you hearing how the law? See, this Biafra, Biafra. The Biafra is not how you think, oh. The Biafra is not about you. Shomo come. The Biafra has transitioned to the legal and the all international law. Albert Obi is fighting to get us there. But the number one step is what? The government in exile must be formed. And Albert Obi will not just go and government in exile. You must put a name. That is why he put Brgie, Umu. Enemies, haters of truth. Biafra is giving you the money that you never met in your life through Nigerian government. Today, Nigerian government call Chike, Dozie, and the member criminals. They will soon call you. International law elevated exile entity based on whether they possess a complete constitution body capable of acting as a state authority. After a peaceful declaration, the Jew government, various and incomplete political group or opposition movement. Brgie is described as what? Opposition what? Movement. After a government unit has issued declaration, anyone who is not with the government that issued declaration, you are doing what they call what? Opposition movement under the international law of the Jew government in exile. With a full structure. With what? A full what? Structure of a government capacity. A full government capacity. And the transition took place. And we issue our peaceful redeclaration of our lost nation in Helsinki, Latvia, Finland.
Core structural and legal differences criterion.
Now, core structure and the legal differences between Brgie without declaration documents and USB redeclared with the legal, the original, the authentic document Albert Obi was looking for.
Entity A, complete government in exile, full cabinet, declarations and legal documentation. Entity B.
Are you listening to that? Creation. Entity A, government in exile, declaration or redeclare, full cabinet declaration and the legal documentation. With what? The legal what? Documentation. With what? They look at the word. Entity A, complete government in exile, full cabinet member, and redeclaration or declaration and the legal documentation. What our government is doing today, all about everything is legal documentation. That is why people say, you're not doing anything. But that is not the case. The case is what? Legal documentation. Today, I have already filled my ID card, waiting for it. I already filled my heritage certificates, proving I'm a Biafran. Have you done your own? These are the legal documents. These are proving that you have a government with a full capacity. With what? With constitution, not with the charter, not with the bylaw. Entity B, informal council, movement, no formal declaration, incomplete cabinet member, Brgie structure, not a full government under international law to respect. Legal status, recognized as a state organ in exile or legal sovereign body with a peaceful redeclaration document. Classified as an opposition movement after a peaceful declaration, having any other group is classified as what? Oppression movement, political council, or shadow movement. Or what? Shadow what? Movement. Now let's continue. Constitution base assists a legal continuity versus official instrument. Official what? Instrument of constitution, mandate, and the full executive portfolio. Are you not having question and answer from the USB cabinet members? With what? Look at the word. Legal continuity versus or via official instrument, democratic movement after a peaceful declaration, protect the mandate and the full executive portfolios. Operate as an Brgie, operate as an informal transition commitment without complete legal executive structure. This is what we don't know. Like I said, I told you, this app take $200 every month. That is when you see the message. The message comes where it's supposed to be. I decided to go hunger, but let this app be working. Then this message comes out. Listen to this. You had it now. Listen. Treaty, asset control, government in exile with peaceful declaration, capable of holding sovereign states, asset abroad, managing embassy, and signing treaties. For who? For US declared. Now, listen the criteria of Brgie. Cannot legally claim state bank accounts, embassy, or sign building international agreements. Have you heard that BGC and CS have any embassy? Have you said have any diplomatic office or mission head. Have you had it? If you have had, please tell me. Maybe it's not to be corrected. If any of us have heard about them in this way, listen. I want to. There are two things here. Now, let me read the side of USB. Capable of holding sovereign state assets abroad, managing embassy, and signing treaties. That is for USB. Now, Brgie cannot legally claim state bank account, even common state bank account, no embassy, or sign building international agreement. They cannot. Now, hosting state relationship, government in exile, mean USB, grant diplomatic immunity, host state hosting agreement, and the formally state recognition for USB declared. Now, Brgie grant political asylum, no grant political asylum, no protection, and no informal political dialogue, but no sovereign immunity. If you doubt it, go and take your Brgie now to look for asylum. Use Brgie document to go and look for asylum. Look for asylum. Go and check it. This is for Brgie. I hope you had it clearly. I will play the audio.
Informal council movement, no formal declaration, incomplete cabinet, bridge structure, legal status. Legal status.
Please like
classified
and share
as an
YouTube
opposition
and TikTok.
Movement, political council, or
Please
shadow
TikTok,
committee.
tap your stream.
Constitutional basis. Asserts legal continuity via official instruments, democratic mandates, and full executive portfolios. Operates as an informal transitional committee without a completed legal executive structure. Treaty and asset control. Capable of holding sovereign state assets abroad, managing embassies, and signing treaties. Cannot legally claim state bank accounts, embassies, or sign binding international agreements. Host state relationship. Granted diplomatic immunity. Host state hosting agreements and formal state recognition. Granted political asylum, protection, and informal political dialogue, but no sovereign immunity. 1. Legal weight of a formal redeclaration document. Declaration and documentation.
Listen, legal weight for a formal redeclaration document. Now, the weight of that document told us until we achieve this document. That is when we stop making noise. The weight. 1. Legal document of a formal redeclaration document. I they send to UN, send it to Washington DC, send it to any other place in the world. Listen about it.
Under public international law, including UN Resolution 2625 and the Montevideo Convention, formal instruments of redeclaration establish an explicit claim of sovereignty and democratic mandate. They provide third-party states with a clear legal instrument to issue de jure recognition.
Are you listening for USB? I hope you are hearing it. With redeclaration and documentation under public international law, including UN Resolution 2625 and the Montevideo Convention, formal instrument of redeclaration establish a claim of a sovereignty and documentary mandate. They provide third-party states with a clear legal instrument to issue the due recognition. That is why we have to send it out. That is the weapon to send out for the world to grant us a peaceful recognition. Come, please tag Shomo, come on, tag all this Umwezi. And I brought up, Fana brought far down. We are here from now henceforth is to dish out what you and your Brgie stand for under all international law and what USB with the redeclaration document. How the world see you and how the world see USB. and you are Brgie. And you will see about Obie who knew the weight, the value of this document. If he comes out, he will go back to Brgie. Thunder, Amadi one by one. Now, when you listen to this, number one, the legal weight of a formal redeclaration document with redeclaration and documentation. Redeclaration and what? Documentation. Under public international law, this one where her waist bend one side like motor accident. It's a lawyer, near Montevideo Convention. So you don't know about UN Resolution 2025. You think that the only law that document in exile is only Montevideo Convention? No. On document in exile, peaceful declaration, that is where you have the body full of 4 of the template, Vienna Convention. The Vienna Convention, 1979. You also have the UN Charter, complete and external amended protocol, 1947. You have what? You have Geneva Convention as amended in 1952. You also now have the Montevideo Convention. Go and study about these 4. Then you will know where USB stand for. You will see the legal parts. You will see why Obatobi told you. Bryce no come and show more come. That only you really clear and achieve this document. It's only when you have stopped making noise. Formally instrumented of a redeclaration, establish and a claim of a sovereignty and the domestic mandate. They provide third-party states with a clear legal instrument to issue the jure recognition. That is what USB is waiting for. Without declaration, without writing constitutional instrument or publicly declaration, the entity does not create a clear, accountable legal claim for foreign ministers to process. Third party cannot recognize a illegal status that has not been formally declared. That has not been formally what? Declared. You know, we take off. We went to go and brutally to an island. That in all cylinders we are there. We refresh and come back. Are you getting the message clearly? If you are still doubting USB, you have common Google on your phone. I ask you to type what I type here. My question is this. What is the difference between government in exile that issue peaceful declaration with documents and a full cabinet member and the organization without peaceful declaration and no full document, no full cabinet member? That is what I ask. Go to your Google and place. They will give you a little bit one. Because for the Google, you are not paying. So the message is half. Based on our declaration, remember this word here. The legal weight of a formal redeclaration document that Obatobi told you and I, until we issue this declaration, we will now delete the document. Before I will go back to and play this back again, I want to play Obatobi about the legal document. About this document, I want to play it again. Please bear with me. Because I want them to gotten a phone USB abroad. 1 minute. This is how we'll be doing the program today. I will be going and bringing because it's very important. So for them to know that this program is for them. That's why I said, let them come. I want to school them today. Oh yeah, listen.
But what are we going to gain from this convention? What we're going to gain is that every document that we're going to generate from this convention become legal document that we'll be using for the political approach and diplomatic approach for the Biafra independence and recognition. This document will be sent to...
But please, hold on. Now, let me read here before we continue the video. I want to read here out before I will continue the video. Just pay attention to this place. Legal weight of a former redeclaration document. With redeclaration document, with redeclare and the documentation under public international law, including UN Resolution 2625 and the Montevideo Convention, formal instrument of redeclaration establish an exactly claim of sovereignty and the domestic mandate. They provide third party states with a clear instrument to issue the due recognition. I listen to the document again from Robert here.
United Nations. This document will be sent to the US Department of State, US, or every department that foreign department, the Congress and all that. We have the European Union and every other region that we feel that's needed to have it to support Biafra at the UN. That's where the whole thing is going to start. Only then Biafra will have a name. Now it is only noise we're making. And Nigeria have understood this very well. They know where I'm going. And that's why they are restless. But I'm watching them and they are having problem with going to India.
I hope you grab it from here. Now, let us bring the Omuamusu. Let us bring Ndoji Finland, the Acho Biafra. Ndoji Nsusuonu na Hoggin, Enwote Biafra. Yes, they are not playing them. They will just be here for the program, so they will knew that their people will send to them. So they know I'm talking about them. Now, let's proceed.
Without declaration, without written constitutional instruments or public redeclarations, the entity does not create a clear actionable legal claim for foreign ministries to process. Third-party states cannot recognize a legal status that has not been formally declared.
Are you hearing it, Umo Koko? Ụmụ atụrụ ndị isi du ndị sanaba n'ime oli. Without declaration or redeclare, without writing constitution, without what? Writing constitution, not bylaw, not charter. Without writing constitution instrument of public redeclaration, the entity does not create a clear, accountable legal claim for foreign ministers to process. The third party cannot recognize a illegal status that has not been formally redeclared. Are you listening very carefully? And I hope you are paying attention the same way I am paying attention, and why I stand with USB redeclared. The whole legal part. General Greg, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. And I see you, Chukudi. Thank you. Linus, my brother. Thank you. Ekwe here with us. Thank you so much. I hope you are seeing the difference. Is it clear to you? Or my analysis is not correct? Is it clear to you, or that the way I'm analyzing it is not good? Because I want to put it the way that every layman will understand it. Please. It's very important. It is very important. Because of what is happening in your own time and my own time. Now, number 2. Listen.
2. Full cabinet versus partial/bridge council. Full executive.
Listen to here. Full cabinet versus partial bridge council. Are you hearing it? You see that there is difference between these two things. Full cabinet versus partial bridge council. The world knows everything that we are passing through. And everything that we are passing through has already been written out before we enter this movement. Listen.
Executive cabinet demonstrates institutional capacity to govern. International law requires that a body claiming to be a government maintain standard ministries, defense, foreign affairs, justice, finance, to prove it can fulfill international obligations and represent its citizenry effectively.
Are you listening to this particular area? Full executive cabinet member demonstrates institutional capacity to govern. International law requires that anybody claim to be a government maintain standard ministers, defense, foreign affairs, justice, and finance. I'm asking you, the USB has this. And let me chip something in before we proceed. These positions, now that we're in another man's country, you guys to register them under the country where we are as an organization, so they can be able to operate, because you cannot be in another person's country dragging your position with them. That is why our DPM registered all these organizations under FERA in US Department of Security, so they can be able to monitor what we are doing against Ndioswimi. Now, do you understand that particular where we go 419? Where we go 419? That they give go 419 $300 to give to me to support me to get a reliable phone to start talking on YouTube that time. Who go 419 is the money to never give me till today. And I have called many occasions. Who go 419 debunk me that I'm lying. And you open your dirty mouth trying to insult my DPN. I hope you are listening. To prove it can be fulfilling international obligation and represent its citizens effectively. I'll read here back again. Full executive cabinet demonstrates institutional capacity to govern. International law requires that a body claiming to be a government maintain standard ministers, defense, foreign affairs, justice, finance, to prove it can fulfill international obligation and representing its citizens effectively. This is for USB declared. Now, listen to Brgie part.
Fleet bridge structure. A temporary political committee without defined executive portfolios is viewed in international relations as a political movement rather than a legal government. Foreign governments may support such a bridge group politically, but they rarely grant it official diplomatic status or sovereign asset control.
Are you listening to that? Incomplete Brgie structure. A temporary political committee that is about to be told us that we must transition to issue the declaration for us to have the document. So the world cannot longer see us as what? As a political commitment without a defense executive profile is viewed in international law relations as a political movement rather than legal government. That is the one who is talking. You are ignorant out of it. You are ignorant against law. It's not an excuse. It's never be an excuse. The world knows what we are passing through, and the world knows who is on the right track, and who is proving that it's a government of the people that has a citizen that must have capacity to govern and protect the citizens and to defend them properly. Incomplete / Brgie structure. Incomplete / what? Brgie structure. A temporary political commitment without defense executive profile. So the executive portfolio is viewed in international relations as a political movement. Brgie is the same thing with IPOB organization, a political what? Movement. A political movement is how the world see Brgie. That is what Batobie said, until we redeclare this, and that is only when we have achieved it, and we will stop making noise by having this legal document. Now, foreign governments may support such Brgie group, political, but they rarely grant it official diplomatic status of a sovereign asset control. Ogenkere thought that it is easy. Ogenkere thought that it is easy to go to register under FERA, to use it to borrow money and complete, like what Shomo or Command are doing today. They all doing that because they want money, but they never knew that without document of declaration of your own nation, that US and no country will borrow you money. I said what? No country will give you money. They thought it's a child's play. They thought what? That it is a child's play. Why? That they don't know that everything has a legal procedure. And under the legal procedure, that is what USB is doing at this stage. They said what? That is what USB declared is doing. Please, if you are watching me from TikTok, I want you to tap your screen to like the video. Like the video. Now, let us continue.
International recognition. To move from an informal bridge to a recognized entity, international law practice typically requires promulgation of a...
Listen, you. Path to international recognition. The path to what? To international recognition. To move from informal Brgie to recognized identity, international law present a typical requirement. Now, let us see this requirement.
Official decrees, publishing clear charter documents and re-declarations, institutional completeness, structuring a full cabinet that reflects legal and administrative continuity, formal host agreement, establishing a clear treaty or bilateral agreement with the host nation permitting executive operations on foreign soil.
I hope. Now, with all this constitution and all this requirement, who met all this requirement? With what we have done this evening on this session 1, is it not you as really declared is one that met this criteria? Do you see why I told you that if you are standing by USB, you are doing yourself legal part, and you are a citizen of a nation, not organization. You had it clearly here that they call such a group what? Legal political movement, not the one to claim sovereignty or grant the jure recognition, that it is only government in exile can be granted the jure and see as a sovereign state under public international law. I am going to play it again before we try. On this session 1, I hope it is clear to you that it is only you as we declared has the legal documents that Batobie was asking for, and the wide world must organize us because of what? This legal document.
The legal distinction between these two structures lies in the transition from political intention to formal legal capacity under international law. International law evaluates exiled entities based on whether they possess a complete constitutional body capable of acting as a state authority, de jure government, versus an incomplete political group or opposition movement. 4 structural and legal differences criterion. Entity A, complete government in exile, full cabinet, declarations and legal documentation. Entity B, informal council movement, no formal declaration, incomplete cabinet, bridge structure. Legal status. Legal status. Classified as an opposition movement, political council or shadow committee. Constitutional basis. asserts legal continuity via official instruments, democratic mandates, and full executive portfolios. Operates as an informal transitional committee without a completed legal executive structure. Treaty and asset control. Capable of holding sovereign state assets abroad, managing embassies and signing treaties. Cannot legally claim state bank accounts, embassies, or sign binding international agreements. Host-state relationship. Granted diplomatic immunity, host-state hosting agreements, and formal state recognition. Granted political asylum, protection, and informal political dialogue, but no sovereign immunity. 1. Legal weight of a formal redeclaration document, with declaration and documentation, under public international law, including UN Resolution 2625 and the Montevideo Convention. Formal instruments of redeclaration establish an explicit claim of sovereignty and democratic mandate. They provide third-party states with a clear legal instrument to issue de jure recognition. Without declaration, without written constitutional instruments or public redeclarations, the entity does not create a clear actionable legal claim for foreign ministries to process. Third-party states cannot recognize a legal status that has not been formally declared. 2. Full cabinet versus partial/bridge council. Full executive cabinet demonstrates institutional capacity to govern. International law requires that a body claiming to be a government maintain standard ministries, defense, foreign affairs, justice, finance, to prove it can fulfill international obligations and represent its citizenry effectively. Incomplete bridge structure. A temporary political committee without defined executive portfolios is viewed in international relations as a political movement rather than a legal government. Foreign governments may support such a bridge group politically, but they rarely grant it official diplomatic status or sovereign asset control. Path to international recognition. To move from an informal bridge to a recognized entity, international law practice typically requires promulgation of official decrees, publishing clear charter documents and redeclarations. Institutional completeness. Structuring a full cabinet that reflects legal and administrative continuity. Formal host agreement. Establishing a clear treaty or bilateral agreement with the host nation permitting executive operations on foreign soil.
I hope you have seen where they belong, and you have also seen why Obato Obie will not come out from prison, went to these people. Because we all believe that one man can come out, he must join. If Obato Obie was still went in exile then, that he would join government in exile. Truly, yes. You see why Obato Obie will not waste his time with these people. Whatever happens in this court here, after this court, the truth will prevail. Now, we are moving to session 2 of today's program. We are now moving to the session 2 of today's program. It is very important, I think, because what we are doing, we don't need Crc story. We want the truth. We want people to know how those that are going to organize us, what they are looking, and what is their standard, and what is their template. And on that their template is what we stand to work with. That is why we are here to tell them that you are just wasting your time in Finland. That being in Finland is not avenue to have mercy or pity on you after what was being released. That wearing this tie is proving evidence of saboteur, evidence of sabotage is what we are doing in Finland. Now, session 2, my question is this. Why under international law, follows a government in exile that issue peaceful redeclaration or declaration? I want all article and the charter that international law use to process government in exile that leads to recognition. I hope you got the answer. So let's go on to this session 2 of today's program.
Under international law, a government in exile relies on specific legal principles, treaties, and United Nations charters to establish legitimacy and work toward formal recognition. International law prioritizes legal continuity and human rights/self-determination over mere physical control of territory when a government is ousted illegally, such as through unlawful aggression, occupation, or unconstitutional overthrows. Below is the structured breakdown of the articles, charters, and legal doctrines used to process and recognize a government in exile. Key charters and binding international treaties. UN Charter, Article 2, 4, Prohibition of the use of force. Legal role. Prohibits states from using force or aggression against the territorial integrity or political independence of another state. Application. If an elected or legal government is forced out by foreign military invasion or illegal aggression, international law treats that displacement as an illegal act. Ex injuria jus non oritur, rights cannot arise from an unlawful act. Thus, third-party states continue recognizing the displaced government in exile as the sole legal authority. UN Charter, Article 1-2, and Article 55, Principle of Self-Determination. Legal role. Establishes that international relations must be built on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples. Application. If a population peacefully issues declarations backing an exiled government, international bodies view that government as the legitimate representative exercising the democratic self-determination of its people against an unrepresentative or occupying regime. ICCPR and ICESCR. Common Article 1. International Covenants on Human Rights. Legal role. All peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Application. Gives legal standing to peaceful redeclarations issued by exiled authorities when they demonstrate popular consent and democratic legitimacy from their citizens. Core international law principles governing recognition. Legal principle doctrine. What it states. Application to governments in exile. Stimson Doctrine and UN Resolution 2625. Non-recognition of illegal acts. Territorial gains or regime changes brought about by illegal force or aggression must not be recognized legally. Prevents host nations from recognizing an occupying/rebel force, maintaining the legal status of the exiled government. Principle of legal continuity. Statehood and sovereignty reside in the state's legal identity, not merely in physical office buildings or territory. Temporary loss of effective control over territory due to force does not automatically terminate a government's legal authority. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Article 3 and Article 6. Article 3 states that the political existence of the state is independent of recognition by other states. Article 6 establishes that recognition is unconditional and irrevocable, serves as the baseline framework for evaluating whether an entity fulfills the criteria of state representation and governance. Principle of democratic legitimacy, Kobar, Betancourt doctrines. Modern customary international law increasingly ties legitimate governance to democratic mandates rather than pure physical enforcement. Allows third-party states to recognize exiled leaders who hold an electoral or constitutional mandate over an autocratic usurper. UN General Assembly declarations and customary frameworks. UN General Assembly Resolution 2625, XXV, Declaration on Friendly Relations, 1970. Mandates that no territorial acquisition resulting from the threat or use of force shall be recognized as legal. It protects the status of ousted governments claiming their rights from abroad. UN General Assembly Resolution 1514, XV, Declaration on Decolonization, 1960, provides a legal pathway for liberation movements and exiled representative councils to issue peaceful declarations of independence or redeclarations of statehood. How recognition works in practice. Host state consent. Under international law, a government in exile cannot operate legally on foreign soil without the explicit consent of the host state, respecting host state sovereignty. De jure versus de facto recognition. States may grant de jure, formal legal, recognition to the government in exile, while maintaining de facto, practical/factual dealings with whoever controls the physical territory, diplomatic and treaty capacity. Once recognized under these charters, a government in exile can retain control over foreign assets, maintain embassies, sign international treaties, and represent the nation at the UN.
Listen, it's not cha-cha-cha. It's not cha-cha-cha. It's about what are you doing. It is about the real deal. It is about the truth. It is about legal. It's not about wearing white and wear tie of color Biafra. It's not about big wig and wearing tie. It's not about hugging up at Obi. It's not about whispering what on his ear. It's about the right thing to do. And we supposed to. Are you not happy with what we are hearing here, that our DPM and youth governments are on this right path, that is the legal way to restore our lost nation? I'm asking, are you not happy? Are you not thanking our DPM at all time? Are you not praising her for accepting to allow herself to be used by the spirit of Biafra under the legal path in over all these years? I'm asking you, are you not happy? If you are not, I am. That's what it was every day. Thanks to everyone to giving us our DPM. Also to putting minds of Obatobia. This is the surrogate. This is one you will tell protect the mandate. If she comes out, Obatobia is not going to call our DPM. Please, where is the mandate I asked to protect? Shomo Koma. Obatobia is going to call and ask you, please, where the mandate of Brgie? The only person who handed every mandate out is who? To his hand is who? Our DPM is the person of Obatobia handed over the mandate, and she is only the one Obatobia we call. Where is the mandate that has to protect as the chief of staff, as the surrogate? Where is that mandate? Yes, she's going to explain. She's going to do handover. What are you going to hand over? Okay, your handover is in Finland. I mean, I was in Finland, starting with you about Obatobia. How are you talking like this? I hope that you feel the same way I feel when I start seeing all these things. I said, wow. So this Biafra has become reality. So that this Biafra has become what? Reality. What we are looking for has become what? Has come to reality. Because of what? Because of there is a legal process. And who takes us to this legal process is Simon Hebanjoko. That send us this legal process. That's also the reason why he told the DPM, you are the one to protect this mandate. And you must protect the mandate. Today, the mandate has been protected so much. The mandate has given birth to the many things. So, do not panic. Do not move an inch. In USB, I stand. Where do you stand? I stand on what happens. I stand from the 29th November 2024 peaceful declaration. That is where I stand. Where do you stand? Take your stand properly. Because the Biafra Constitution must deal with all of you who is against this government. The same way the Constitution of Ghana dealt with those oppressors, those sabotage and saboteurs in their own country.
Under international law, a government in exile relies on specific legal principles, treaties, and United Nations charters to establish legitimacy and work toward formal recognition. International law prioritizes legal continuity and human rights / self-determination over mere physical control of territory when a government is ousted illegally, such as through unlawful aggression, occupation, or unconstitutional overthrows.
Are you listening? And I hope we are making common sense. I hope it's sounding clear to your ear. If so, make a comment for me to know that you are understanding what we are doing here and why we must stand on the side of usually declared. Why you must prove that you are a citizen of a country. Under international law, a government in exile relies on a specifically legal principle. Legal what? Principle. That a government in exile must rely on it, not woto. Yes. Mama Jugo, thank you. That's you are correct, and you are with us. Thank you. Under international law, a government in exile rely on a specific legal principle, treaty, and United Nations charters to establish legitimacy and work towards formal recognition. Are you hearing it? International law prioritize the legal continuity and the human rights self-determination over a mere physical control of territory when a government is outlined illegal, such as through unlawful aggression, occupation, and unconstitutional overthrow. You see what you have. What do you have? You have US declared that as DPM is protecting the mandate, if you stand to protect the mandate of our DPM, the gate of hell will not see you.
Is the structured breakdown of the articles, charters, and legal doctrines used to process and recognize a government in exile.
Are you hearing it? That is the only government in exile they are talking about, is that government in exile that issued a peaceful redeclaration of a lost nation. That is the only government in exile that the world is talking about. Because of this government in exile, that is why Flem must do fast. Because of what? In their court, Finland has now understand that Obato Obie knew that he is a prime minister of a redeclared lost nation with the name and titled United States of Biafra. That is why Finland must run quickly. That example Obato Obie asking them, don't you know about Czechoslovakia has triggered something? That he used his mouth, mentioned that there is a redeclaration by the Biafran people in Helsinki, Finland. He is no longer going to be judged as an individual. Rather, he is going to be judged as a president or prime minister of a nation. And the man another, and here America, I win again. What do you win? Do you bring a lawyer? What do you use to win? Let JB Obato Obie. I will reserve my comments. Gina, you're welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. The world is moving fast. Obato Obie is alive today and being in Finland because of there is a US declared. If there is no US declared, they will take him. And the judge understand when Obato Obie said that a country like Czechoslovakia was redeclared another country, like our own case. And they have to go towards that. Only that word Obato Obie knew properly. He knew from day one. He allowed this Okoko them deceiving themselves because he don't know who of them they will use to submit a dangerous document again. And you had the message from Finland today that the decision said that they don't worry, the case will end very soon. And Obato Obie said we have win. I want you to know that we win because of what? There is a US declared. There is that legal part. There is that document. There is many things that surrenders this government that we are into. That is why I call that the Lazuba body. Now, just we address her as Madame Ibongi, aka Ashawowu. Arumwawu. Arubruaru. Under international law, government in exile relies on a specific legal principle, treaties, and the United Nations chapters to establish legitimacy and work towards formal recognition, international law, legally continuity, and human rights self-determination over mere physical control of a territory. When a government in exile is outlined illegally, such as through unlawful aggression, occupation, or unconstitutional overthrow, which one is our case? Occupation by Nigerian government is our own case. Instead, our case is here. That is why we issue a peaceful redeclaration of our lost nation. Below is the structured breakdown of the article, charters, and the legal doctrine used to process and recognize a government in exile. Now listen. Key charters and building international treaties. UN Charter Article 2 in bracket 4 prohibition of use of force. What does they mean here? Now that we're government in exile, who now went and go and start knocking Nigeria woto. It's use of force, so that is why our government is not knocking woto. That is why people are not supporting more. That people think that we're not supporting, nothing use the money to do. They never knew that there is more work to do. We spend more money when it comes to the legal documents. They never knew. Do you hear you that want to? Do you hear about Article 2 in bracket 4 prohibition of the use of force against Nigeria? That is why Batobi told you and I after we declared that if you expecting him to knock Nigeria one boom, that you are deceiving yourself. He's not going to say it. Legal rule prohibition states from using force or aggression against the territory, integrity, or political independency of another state. Are you hearing it? Application: if elected or legal government is forced out by foreign minister, military invasion, or illegal aggression, international law treaties that displacement as an illegal act, as injury just non-orator, the right cannot arise from an unlawful act. You see, Brgie is a lawful act. Nothing good right will arise from there. Take it or you leave it. Those parties, states continue to organize the disciplined government, as you see the Biafran cabinet or Biafran representative in Finland, respect themselves, coordinate normal. They never fight anyone. They don't make noise. And you can hear it from here clearly. In exile as the sole legal authority, authority of how to achieve our nation, that the world went to recognition. This is Article 2 in bracket 4. Now, coming down to UN Article 1 in bracket 2, Article 55, Principle of Self-Determination. Now, this is our own case. Listen. Legal rule established that the international relations must be built on a respect for the principle of equal right and self-determination of the people. That is what Batobia is right now. That is why we are fighting. That is why USB is on every legal process to restore this nation. Not by what you think, not by how you feel. You see what we have to do. This is what we have to do. And with US being declared, are you seeing that we are maintaining all these criteria, all this template, all this law that UN is giving, and despite the wasting time of who they are, this is the only way to achieve, unless you're on your own. Application: if a population peacefully issue redeclaration through a government in exile, backing an exile government, international bodies view that government as the legitimate representative exercising the domestic self-determination of its people against an unrepresentative or occupying regime. Do you hear about this application? They mention what here? Only government in exile with what? With the redeclaration document. They said this is the only legitimate representative exercising the domestic self-determination of its people against the unoppressive or occupying regime. Only usually declared. You know what I mean? Now, if you know how happy I am whenever I make some research and find out about myself, that is why I will be willing to come and share with you. And if you look at the voice I use, you know the kind of happy I am. That we are now on the legal path. That we are now on the right path. That we are now on that way. That the world will grant us the due recognition. It's not about hearsay. It's not about what you think. It's not about your size. But everything is centered on the legal parts, on the legal documents, on the word redeclaration. If there is no redeclaration of government in exile, there is no country to recognize. If there is no redeclaration of government in exile, there is, remember the word, no organization will achieve it. You must transition to government in exile. You must. And you must issue a peaceful redeclaration, have the document, start submitting to the world. They must listen. You see, this 2 days I was not on social media. I take time to rethink and start asking questions. With the answer we are getting, are you happy for the research? With the answer that we are finding out and the truth, we imagine with the law, with articles, with the paragraph in bracket, not just to come and read someone for you. Someone help me and tag this I need them. I need them Lazuba, aka Ojibonge Achaoji Achawo. We need the Odimia. I only need Bryce Nokoma and the Nikki and the Shomo Okoma with this for this 5, this 6 minus and cause I know you better now. And I know you won't cover. And you're gonna mean quite be a charge. All Brgie are one, yeah, charge a day, me and cover and can't cover a face in here. Oh, Ebon Mezi Ashawo and Hukopia now, Bona Finland. Because he's the new species in Finland. A government in exile with a legal document of peaceful declaration already declared. And imagine the word application. If a population peacefully, issue redeclaration backing an exile government, international bodies view that government as the legitimate government. Representative of exercising the domestic self-determination of its people against an unrepresentative or occupying regime. Nigeria is occupying our territory and they must leave. Pick that word. Pick this word from here. If a population peacefully issue a peaceful declaration backing an exile government, international law view that as that government as the legitimate, the right representative exercising the domestic self-determination of its people against an unrepresentative or occupying regime. Where is your own? Showman, the Bryson, Command, all of them. Where are you? Where are all of you? I am asking question. Where is your document that imagine UN at least in Chiomo Rational Komaniki? Go use your phone or type UN Charter Article 1 in bracket 2 and Article 55 Principle of Self-Determination. Kema mo bring government in exile. Another law, ICCPR and ICESCR, Common Article 1 of International Covenant on Human Rights. Legal rule. All people have the right of self-determination. By virtue of the right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue the economy, social, and the cultural development. Now, application gives a legal standard to the peaceful redeclaration issued by a government in exile authority when the domestic popular consents and domestic legitimacy from their citizens. Is it not the people of Biafra give the right to issue the declaration? That is why we have over 1,500 Biafrans in Helsinki, Finland, that issue this peaceful declaration. Is it not USB that issue this word peaceful redeclaration? With what you are hearing today, do you stand Gidigbam in USB declared? That is why I stand. That is why I can raise my voice. That is why I'm happiest person. That is why I understand. Look at the only way to achieve this nation. And we have done that. We are now waiting for what? Recognition. Allow me to play the audio, the voice again before we proceed for a reason.
Under international law, a government in exile relies on specific legal principles, treaties, and United Nations charters to establish legitimacy and work toward formal recognition. International law prioritizes legal continuity and human rights / self-determination over mere physical control of territory when a government is ousted illegally, such as through unlawful aggression, occupation, or unconstitutional overthrows. Below is the structured breakdown of the articles, charters, and legal doctrines used to process and recognize a government in exile. Key charters and binding international treaties. UN Charter, Article 2(4), Prohibition of the use of force. Legal role. Prohibits states from using force or aggression against the territorial integrity or political independence of another state. Application. If an elected or legal government is forced out by foreign military invasion or illegal aggression, international law treats that displacement as an illegal act. Ex injuria jus non oritur, rights cannot arise from an unlawful act. Thus, third-party states continue recognizing the displaced government in exile as the sole legal authority. UN Charter, Article 1(2), and Article 55, Principle of Self-Determination. Legal role. Establishes that international relations must be built on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples. Application. If a population peacefully issues declarations backing an exiled government, international bodies view that government as the legitimate representative exercising the democratic self-determination of its people against an unrepresentative or occupying regime. ICCPR and ICESCR, Common Article 1, International Covenants on Human Rights. Legal role. All peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Application gives legal standing to peaceful redeclarations issued by exiled authorities when they demonstrate popular consent and democratic legitimacy from their citizens.
Are you hearing it? And I hope you have heard about what the Umwezi, the intellectuals, what the fake forgery memo, like the fake forgery evidence that the government give to Plan through Shomo Okoma and Bryson Okoma and the Lazuba, the international business a Bongi woman, Ashawo. Now, with what you are hearing, I want someone to answer me. Are you still doubting US will be declared? Do you also think that there is any other, even Mazna Nekano issue the declaration of Biafra today? It's unavoidable. Now it does not work. Because before you will submit document that you want to issue a declaration, the document of the one has already been declared with a full government capacity has already there. That's what DPM told all of you, that any office think you are entering, I'm already out from that office before. So whatever you go there, you will see my message I dropped there before you enter. True or false? True or false? Let's continue.
4. International law principles governing recognition. Legal principle doctrine. What it states. Application to governments in exile. Stimson Doctrine and UN Resolution 2625. Non-recognition of illegal acts. Territorial gains or regime changes brought about by illegal force or aggression must not be recognized legally. Prevent host nations from recognizing.
Now that we have issued our peaceful declaration and using the diplomatic work and our documents and everything moving out, the world must recognize us. That is what they told us here. Territorial regain or regime change brought about by illegal force of aggression must not be recognized legally. Now, on that reason, do you see why that our government is not acting with? Do you understand why you don't do it? Because the world will join hand and level us. The world will do what? The world will join hand to level us. Prevent host nation from organizing and occupying rebel force, maintaining the legal status of the exiled government. Are you hearing it? You must maintain the legal, the way of a government in exile. You must do that. That is the only way. That is the only way out. And that is not exactly what USB is doing. USB isn't knocking water to anybody. They are not knocking any water. I said what? USB is not knocking what? Water. USB is proving to every country in the world how peaceful we are. Even in Finland. I said what? Even in Finland.
An occupying/rebel force, maintaining the legal status of the exiled government. Principle of legal continuity. Statehood and sovereignty reside in the state's legal identity, not merely in physical office buildings or territory. Temporary loss of effective control over territory due to force does not automatically terminate a government's legal authority. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Article 3 and Article 6. Article 3 states that the political existence of the state is independent of recognition by other states. Article 6 establishes that...
That is what I want to take from here, this Article 3. Other than Article 6 of Montevideo Convention. Establishing organization from where? From other states, not from Washington, D.C. Not from White House. White House has never in this life grants any country recognition. They do not have such power. Quote me, I said that they do not have any power to do that. In all these things that we are seeing here, have you had Brgie organization? What are you hearing? Remember the word, a government in exile that issue peaceful. Remember that word, peaceful redeclaration. That have a full government cabinet members, not off portfolio, but portfolio that is on, that people can see people are working, like what the government is doing today. Like what? What USB is doing today. I want you to know that the only government you have, if you are following today, you can understand clearly that it is only USB redeclared. Is it open to you? Please, there is a link there. There is a link there if you want to join us. Samuel Wamba, please use the link and enter. Do not write from comment section. If you are man enough, use the link and enter. Come and express yourself. We are reading international law to you how to achieve Biafra as a country. I am not reading Ngozi Arabeze. Is it Ngozi Arabeze write all this law? Mwabonzo, Mwabolashi, Mwewu Akbo, Iso, na-edubu n'ime olu. Samuel, were link bata ka ikwu. It's because people like that is why I play this audio first before I read it, so you will know people that will think I am the one. So you see. Go and those people where you are dialing and whiling with it, tell them that they should do what? They should start from the UN Charter Article 2(4). Let them read that article for you. Or you can type through your phone and read it. Then you can also read that UN Charter Article 2(2) and Article 55. Samuel Wampa, you can read through your phone. Then you can also read type on your phone ICCPR and ICESCR, Common Article 1, International Covenant of Human Rights. You can read it, not Ngozi Arabeze. Then, if that wasn't enough for you, you can also read the resolution of the 2625 of the UN article. You can read that particular place. You can read it. Then, let me give you another one that I want you to read again. Then you can also tell them to read at this Montevideo Convention 1933, Article 3 and Article 6. Tell you are those that are leading you to read that place for you. I am not reading Ngozi Arabeze. Also tell them to read the UN General Assembly Resolution 2625 SSV Article 1970 for you. Tell them to read for you UN General Assembly Resolution 1514 SV Declaration and Declaration 1960. Tell them to read it for you. Now, when you read those areas, it will now drag you. It's not Ngozi Arabeze, but it's about Constitution. Before I continue, I have my brother Triple M here. Please, Triple M, you can unmute your mic.
Wow, thank you so much, my beloved brother and comrade, in the person of Listen, and keep as well. Ayagaha, we are not dragging anybody. All we do is to show you what others have done before us. Beside what we are doing today, many countries, many people have done that thing before us. So we can never do it on our own way. We have to follow suit regards to other people that have followed that same route, and we are where they are today. They stand as a nation. That same route is what we are following today. These people you just drop at the screen now, it reminds me of progress the analyst analysis. She has given them name. They say Thais Republic.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. These are the Thai Republic. Listen. I see onye na-ama na ọ ga-eshi ọzọ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Onye na-ama na a ga-eshi ya ọzọ. Eshie ya ọzọ, ọ ga-abụrụ ọla, bụracha ma n'okpo, bụra ma n'aka, bụra ma n'olu. These guys are busy looking for relevance where there is no relevancy. You see, I am so happy the way things are going, and I'm happy where we are today and what is on the ground. Because we stood firm. Our PM gave us his word. He said our DPM is his surrogate.
Exactly.
It doesn't end there. He also went ahead to tell our DPM, protect the mandate. And for me and every other genuine Biafrans, when you hear protect the mandate, the message comes to our DPM. Our DPM know exactly what Mariam is saying. She went ahead to ask her, which mandate is she talking about? Here we go check diplomatically. Yes, yeah. She said, he said, if I tell you the mandate, you will understand. Coded message.
Very good.
Coded message. Makanasana only iberibe anayama oge kere nkokwa.
Na so.
Thank you so much, my brother Chino, for being there. In fact, anybody that will fall in that net of no court of no appeal.
Yes.
Haven't hearing all of this, you have been preaching, opening our eyes. We can't help them. Their name is sorry because you started on time. Remember, I keep hitting back. My brother Madishino, you started telling us what is on ground. Even that period, you told us about many countries that form different groups after the declaration. You were mentioning them. They are numerous. But at the end of the day, when the conclusion was about coming, the world looked for the first confessed serve.
That is it.
You know, when you say this thing, we have not gotten up to this stage we are today. I feel they are aware. See that now so and so country declare many people, even South Africa, give you an example. Now South Africa supported, South African government supported a particular group to go and redeclare. But at the end, what happened? That period, our own, we have not seen this. That's why I keep appreciating you. I keep appreciating you because there are many things I learned from you that keeps me going. When I see it playing out today, I kept on laughing because we already knew that this thing has happened. History will always find its way to repeat. That is what we have. That is exactly what is happening to us today. When you talk of freedom fighting, there are numerous countries that fought it. Today, they stood as a country. Before we get to this route, our leader, Mazen Nandekano, or Wazirike, they meant freedom. They really want it. But something happened on the way. The reason why Wazirike is no longer in the picture is that they brought him over and also gave him a mandate to stop Biafra. That is why he failed. He failed both present and future. People don't understand this. Owazirike failed both present and future. They brought him over, telling him that we don't want you to say this, and also contracted him to stop anybody that will rise to move that same motion. But he failed. Chukwu Okabiama enwere gwa na gasị ihe chi kwuru okwuwo ya, ihe o kwuru ga-eme, ihe chi dere n'odewo ya, ihe o dere ga-eme. Chukwu edego ya na anyị ga-enwere onwe anyị. It doesn't matter what comes on our way. We must surely triumph. And here we are today. There is something my brother Kelena usually said. He said, if you are following this Biafran freedom, social media and the physical, and you don't believe that there is God, you are not okay. When there is God, God said Biafran freedom is his project. Even in the tight corner, mgbe Chukwu ji emere onwe ya aha. O nwere egwu even the sabo na-agụ ya. Ha na-asị ọ na-eme ọwa PM bugotere onye a wee egwu anyị ma ama, mana PM bugotere ihe nwere onwe a ọ na-eme ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume ya mee ya. Ọ na-eme ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume ya na-eme ya. Ọ na-eme ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume, ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume anyị, ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume ka ọ na-eme. Jehovah na-eme ihe na-adịghị ekwe omume ya na-eme ya. But our enemy will always try to be like us to deceive so many people in our midst. But God will always turn the wiseness of the foolish ones into foolishness. The more they do that, because if you want to stop something, you have to come in the midst, claim that you are one of them, chanting the same song that they are chanting. But they failed woefully because God has given us the mantle and the key of the door. The more they chant, the more they promote the real cost. That is what we have. Well, that is exactly what is happening today. You know, you say something about the people that is fighting against our freedom. Let us not forget. Let me take our memory back. Our PM have said it. He said, is it North Korea or South Korea? He said
South Korea.
Their constitution is so stringent that ours with the USB will be more harder. When anyị bịara mgbe ndị ọzọ tiri their focus ndị nke ha constitution anyị epicry from east, west, north and south jakọ ya ọnụ woteze nke ndị Igbo ti ya n'ime ya chọọchị agbasi ya. I pity those, you know, they were doing this thing because they have not seen that constitution. In that constitution, in Amazon is in open place. The same way the road for our freedom is in the open. Thank our constitution now in the open. Makechi. Ego constitution na fight against this freedom. Knowingly or unknowingly, you begin to cry. But many don't know. I pity them. That's why I said I have bought a GP tank, stored it in my storage, where they would donate their tears.
No tears, they would not their blood.
I know what I'm saying, because after that they will not buy anybody. They will buy themselves by themselves, because
that is it.
When the time comes, we the Biafran people, we don't like sticking our hand in Obara. Hama gejaka ha, tipi onwe ha. You see what happened today, na court?
Yes.
Lasoba is an agent that they sent to come and cause distraction, because they knew that there is nothing they hold against our PM. Now they are not looking for someone to use to cause the distraction, and they used Ashawo. Why here for ya?
Achawo. Achawo.
Kezaya. Onye ekike. Nwanyị obiọma ngwa. Akpa ya aka ya atọ ya ajahe. Ihe na-eme. See what she did today. You see what she did today? Na amụọkọ onwe ya. Kele ihe ọ na-eme ya ahụ to provoke anybody that will come. Nwanne Ogbunigwe ahụ bụ bara ya n'ahụ. Despite the fact that mgbe people na-ekele our PM, ya na akọrọ bishi PM na ya gbaka afọ na ndị ekwa ndị ọgwụ nke jikwe nke a, PM si ya stop that. Ya emepe ọ na-enawa PM. Agaghị m akwụsị ya until ị pụta. What does that tell you? Agaghị m akwụsị ya. And our PM already knew this hooligan. Our PM kwuru that Nawanya is up to something. She will do something today. Tomorrow she will apologize. The next day she will repeat it. I have cautioned this woman not more than 10 times. Yet she keep repeating whatever thing she's doing, that she's up to something. Even you going to court, what PM should caution her. You don't know you don't know Lasoba more than PM. When Lasoba is there, I ain't trying to follow you now, support you. Our PM I'm going to already.
Yes.
Not that she's up to something.
Oh, now I told you na fight ndeka hamma. Maybe
yes. So
the organization.
Yes. So what makes you think that you will tell PM caution her? PM have already known who she is and have cautioned her severally. Today, they are jumping from pillar to pole. Is that na audio potrano? They are fighting that audio. Requesting help for that. Manaka hama jaka ha buputa nke Brgie. Na here PM na defending na court o Brgie or USB, which is normal. Mgbe wepụrụ ya mgbe Brgie no, ọ gaghị azanwa anything for USB. The same thing that happened to our leader Master na Kanu. Ihe ọ ga-azanwa ajụjụ ya IPOB ọwụghụ Brgie. These are morons that don't believe in transition. I believe when a move, no phobic apple. But we have left them behind. Thai Republic, you see this husband and wife, I am sorry for them. Because that track they followed, I'm sorry. Makana Abraham now. Even when that audio came out, that was when their downfall came, because they have destroyed. People have known where they are. How can you be telling us that now? Your PM say, "Oh no, Brgie, why that now? If not for the election, we will be making noise. It is only noise we are making." And they took him away before he made that history. As God may have it, we made that history. Then people came from behind and said, "Let's fall back. What difference do you need to differentiate those that plot and took away our PM and those that say let's fall back and remember where we are?" I am a citizen of the United States of Biafra. with certificate and my ID card. I'm from Chip.
Any
and now for agent. Oh, I come to the is it USA? No. When you see after USA, you see USB. We are coming to rule the world. At this point, I hit my mic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Triple M. Thank you for joining me earlier today. We are here. Like today, I have a long hour with Biafrans. So just we shall and continue what we are doing. Also, I have Udo Chukwu. Please have the mic. Thank you so much. Have the mic.
Mazi, thank you. Thank you. I love my brother motive and emotion. Obi atabole mondo to ma dude ihe ọzọ mụrụ n'ụbọchị keta Chineke narakwa ekele. Ama m na unu na-akpọ nwaanyị isi ọcha onye na-akpọ ya ihe ka ashawo nwaanyị isi ọcha ahụ ara ọgwụ o jiri bịa ubere bịa banyere ya n'ahụ ọgwụ o jiri bịa na court karịrị ya ndị na court karịrị ya onye mere ya o ji na-agba ara ahụ ihe ọ na-agba ara and ọ ga-agbara ya tụli ya ara ahụ ga-agbara ya laruo n'ụlọ ebe di ya sizie na ara gbara ya just watch
onwe kwadi
okay ọ ga-agba ara ahụ lọtakwa n'ụlọ because onwe onye anyị na-egbu Biafra aga na-egbu ndị mmadụ aga ya na-egbu afafụ ọbara
nwanne biko ka m nyere gị aka eweli iwe Ashawo nwere ụmụ abụọ n'ala Igbo ọ na-ana n'isi ha n'ụzọ eji maka ya chụpụ ya from community ụmụnne dis own na ya agbala France na gazie France na France ya enwe ụmụ ise nwere na France starting from ele obodo na-akpụchinala ndị a nyere ya lasuba nyere ya akwụkwọ Sudan 5 children with 5 fathers ngwa check and balance agịkwa nke ala Igbo
onye Muslim na ọnụ jihad na ka ọ dị men jihad ka biko ndị enwe m unu jisi ike maazị Chido unu gbaliga I really appreciate you people because ma ọ dịga na akwa hụrụ eji m iwe bịa na ihe the other day odogwu Enugu sim na ndokwa na ihe again and kemgbe ahụ m bịa na keep time now aga na me na watch anyị nwa na Biafra land anyị ga na-emekwa advertisement na-agakwa ote dị preach ya akwụkwọ nsọ anyị agaghị aghọ enyi m Ken eburu nwanne ya even God okwute Ken rụrụ n'ụlọ gbukwara Ken ọkwaghị ihe o jiri aka ya rụọ ọrụ onwe ya gbukwara ya so ele ha anyị na-ekwude ekwetara hapụ onye a because ahụ ndị a akwụkwọ nsọ se Jizọs gwara ndị na-eso ụzọ sị ha bịa ka ha ga ka ndị nwụrụ anwụ lie onwe ha apụghị ka ndị nwụrụ anwụ lie onwe ha mgbe enyi m ọkwado John ka onye jụrụ ya ajụjụ ahụ si ya na mpa ya nwụrụ ya si ọ hapụ ya ka anyị gagodi ka ndị nwụrụ anwụ liwegodo onwe ha onye a onye nwụrụ anwụ ara agbaala ya ọgwụ o jiri bịa banyere ya ahụ and ọ dị nrụ ndị jihad ọrụwa ndị ISIS ọrụgharị ndị nyika Boko Haram ọ dịghị ike oke ọ dịghị rụrụ ọrụ dị a now so ndị ahụ ndị eji all instruments eji na-ewe akụtu our freedom and Chineke abịa mee ebere were unu nwa bịa position dị a biko nunu jichakwa ike enyi m na ndị anya dị n'okporo ụzọ ka anyị bịa mee ọkụpa ya ọhịa karịrị dị side ka anyị were ọhịa anyị mere otu akwụkwọ masịrị anyị because na ọnya ha ji emeghara anyị ukwu ma nye dum adị n'ala biko ndị enwe m onye jikwala obi ọjọọ gbuo hapụchakwa wewesawe giriwe ha giricha ọkụ nrecha girigiri ọla na katakata hụ biko hapụchakwa wenụ ama ndị aga ifu efu anyị nwa ndị anụ na Biafra land n'ọhịa na-amata ndị rụrụ ọrụ mata without USB nothing onwe nye onye ọbụla ga-egbata nye ha ga-ekpe gbata akwụkwọ ịlaghachikwa mma egbuole dị maazị Nnamdị Kalụ kemgbe ahụ na dia place ha kperela ikpe garuo n'ikpe ọnwụ Chineke bebe nyekwa kesamọn ekpe ọkwa ha nwa ọnwụ ndị ọzọ bịara aka ebe ọkwa ndị Igbo anyị ga na-ikweta nye mmadụ anyị ga na-egbu onwe anyị gaghị egbu onwe anyị Chineke mma mmadụ na anyị nwere ndị dị ka unu nwa na-ekwu eziokwu ndị kwesịrị n'eziokwu because ndị a bụ ndị agakwa eche ala Biafra ọkwụ ndị eziokwu ga-eche ala Biafra
aga na eche ala Biafra na ndị amaghị ihe ewu lawyer ịgaga mee onye lawyer ewu doctor na enwechara na bank na enwechara ndị gụrụ injinia na bank ha arụwacha na bank ergo accountant ịgarụ eburu injinia rụwa na bank ọ ga-work otu this woman our daughter nọ na ihe ka ndị agha World Bank ọ bụ ihe ọ gụtara na accountant onye o jiri baa World Bank and ugbu a ọkwa ya nwere ike ịbịa soro anyị stamp obi agị na-atọ anyị ụtọ n'ụtụtụ na mana abalị bụ Chineke mere ebere mmadụ dịka Dr. Masanga na ngasa si na ngọdụ nke ha si ha aga na ha aga Chineke ha mekata ha achụkata onye ụwa chụkata onye ụwa chụkata onye ụwa achụkpọ ya n'ụwa ọma mgbe a lọtara ahaziere onwe anyị ahaziere nye because ebe ọ bụ na ha ji akwụkwọ dum alọta ma akwụkwọ ha dere ma lọọ a ga-eji onye ọbụla were aka gụrụ lọọ o jiri aka metara onwe ka anyị lee mmadụ anyị ga-eji mewe lọwa ekwesịrị na-ekwute okwu ha na ka ọ hapụ dị ka na ha dị too valley bete ọ bụrụ na-emeghị expose ihe ọjọọ mere bete ekwesịrị ije ọsọ elecha asị na ndị ara na-esho idigodi vidio a lee otu o si eteghe uri ka ndị ara na-abọ ike ihe ndị onye mmadụ ga-ime na the whole world ọ dịghị ime si no because ihe a mere ahịa na the whole world na-anụ ya the whole world nụ ya na the whole world nụ ya achụchana anyị prụzọ chụchagodi ufu ọsọ bifo anyị bịatawa ọkụkọ ụta anyị ga-achụchagodi ufu ọsọ because ama na ha nwa bụ ufu egbe na-ebu ọkụkọ ndị ogbu aṅụ ọbara ha gbuwekwa ṅụwa aka ga-akparakwa ha akwa oji ihe nwata weli aka elu o mechaa nụnụ ọ gakwa iwetu aka ọ ga-eweturịrị aka biko nụ ana m atụrụ unu ma maazị Kelenna ma Exodus Biafra Exodus maazị ndị agha ndị nwanne m nwoke a na-ekwu okwu ka mma Nnamdi Kalu Rose Chai Chukwu okike abịa ma unu kelere m ha nwa na gị nwa maazị Chido unu dị ịgbalite ụmụọchị unu eweli iwe ọdị onye nwa ihe freedom a na-akwụ ụgwọ a na-eji ego emebi kama ihe mere anyị ji kwụsị ịtụ ego na Biafra land bụ ịtụọ ndị ọzọ rie kemgbe ahụ maazị Simon Ekpasi n'ụmụ ka ndị nọ na exile mụ jụrụ ịtụ beta ọgịkwana ime this time around m hụ na eziokwu hụrụ side abụ eziokwu ndị adịghị ime ihe mmadụ chọrọ mmadụ chọkwana adịkwana ịchọ ụzọ kwana ha nwa otu ahụ unu nwa nọ na that side anaghị enwe ụdịrị ọrụ anyị rụwa na Naijiria gị nọ na Naijiria a na-ahazi gị nọ na Biafra land na-ahazi ya nke ụdịrị ọrụ ahụ ịrụwa dị ọnụ ọhịa achụsi ụmụnne anyị dum n'ụlọ onye ọbụla na-agba ị gaghị nọ n'ụlọ obi ruo oge ala ịnọ n'ụlọ ọ dị ka na obi kogo n'elu ebe ọ bụla na obi kogo n'elu onye mmadụ ga-enọ n'ụwa tụliruo ihe ụwa ga-egwu anyị ma na ụwa adịghị mma ụwa dum mebichiele and ihe ọgwụgwụ oge bịataji ka ọjọọ ọ bụla ihe atụgharị m ụjọ ọgwụgwụ oge ihe adụm ada echụgharị ihe adụm adọgharị echi a eze a ada edo ele nga ọ ga-ibe lukatụ maazị Nnamdi Kalu chụrụ onwe aja nna ya nwụọ nne ya nwụọ ọ dịghị ka ya sị tụmụka ji gị isi nkogwu ọ na-akwa nkụ kwapụta Simon kwapụtazie Ngozi Orabueze onye hụ eziokwu ya kwuo onye asị na ya gị nọ n'eziokwu a nwa ọ gbasara onye ahụ achọrọ onye ọbụla hụ ha na-achọrọ ime Naijiria na-achọrọ ime Islamize ekwudum kwuole ndị Awụsa na-ekwu n'onwe ha ndị Awụsa sef apụtala na sef ndị Awụsa bụghadị akwa na because ọ dịtị nke ha ma ọ bụ maazị Nnamdi Kalu mmụta ọkụwa ndị Awụsa na mmụta ọkụwa anyịnwa but due to that man sọfọkwara mgbe ahụ anyịnwa mgbe ahụ onye ọbụla gberegbere a na-akpọ asa etinye Eastern Security Network ụmụntakịrị ga-akwa ha ọkwa ha nwa gbuchiwara ụmụntakịrị ọkwa ha nwa bịakwara bịa gbuchie okwu ụmụntakịrị anakwa echekwa anyị si ha chịla anyị to tell you na ha nwa abaala society ke ha abaala ukeke ha chọrọ ịba ha werele ukeke ha onye ọbụla maara uke ya onye ọbụla maara onye ọka ọ dịkwana mma mmadụ ịhụ onye ka gese mba onwe ihe anya ukwu gị mere mmadụ onwe ihe anya ukwu gị mere anyị biko menyetụ ndị ọzọ ohere ama na ị nwere ohere for me because enwenye nji n'aka na-eme biko. I rest my case here for now.
Thank you. Yes, we move back to our document. Let's continue listening.
United Nations charters to establish legitimacy and work toward formal recognition. International law prioritizes legal continuity and human rights/self-determination over mere physical control of territory when a government is ousted illegally, such as through unlawful aggression, occupation, or unconstitutional overthrows. Below is the structured breakdown of the articles, charters, and legal doctrines used to process and recognize a government in exile. Key charters and binding international treaties. UN Charter, Article 2(4), prohibition of the use of force. Legal role, prohibits states from using force or aggression against the territorial integrity or political independence of another state. Application, if an elected or legal government is forced out by foreign military invasion or illegal aggression, international law treats that displacement as an illegal act. Ex injuria jus non oritur, rights cannot arise from an unlawful act. Thus, third-party states continue recognizing the displaced government in exile as the sole legal authority. UN Charter, Article 1(2), and Article 55, Principle of Self-Determination. Legal role, establishes that international relations must be built on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples. Application, if a population peacefully issues declarations backing an exiled government, international bodies view that government as the legitimate representative exercising the democratic self-determination of its people against an unrepresentative or occupying regime. ICCPR and ICESCR, Common Article 1, International Covenants on Human Rights. Legal role, all peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Application, gives legal standing to peaceful redeclarations issued by exiled authorities when they demonstrate popular consent and democratic legitimacy from their citizens. Core international law principles governing recognition. Legal principle doctrine. What it states. Application to governments in exile. Stimson Doctrine and UN Resolution 2625. Non-recognition of illegal acts. Territorial gains or regime changes brought about by illegal force or aggression must not be recognized legally. Prevents host nations from recognizing an occupying/rebel force, maintaining the legal status of the exiled government. Principle of legal continuity. Statehood and sovereignty reside in the state's legal identity, not merely in physical office buildings or territory. Temporary loss of effective control over territory due to force does not automatically terminate a government's legal authority. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Article 3 and Article 6. Article 3 states that the political existence of the state is independent of recognition by other states. Article 6 establishes that recognition is unconditional and irrevocable, serves as the baseline framework for evaluating whether an entity fulfills the criteria of state representation and governance. Principle of democratic legitimacy, Tobar, Betancourt doctrines. Modern customary international law increasingly ties legitimate governance to democratic mandates rather than pure physical enforcement. Allows third-party states to recognize exiled leaders who hold an electoral or constitutional mandate over an autocratic usurper. UN General Assembly declarations and customary frameworks. UN General Assembly Resolution 2625, XXV, Declaration on Friendly Relations, 1970. Mandates that no territorial acquisition resulting from the threat or use of force shall be recognized as legal. It protects the status of ousted governments claiming their rights from abroad. UN General Assembly Resolution 1514, XV, Declaration on Decolonization, 1960, provides the legal pathway for liberation movements and exiled representative councils to issue peaceful declarations of independence or redeclarations of statehood. How recognition works in practice. Host state consent. Under international law, a government in exile cannot operate legally on foreign soil without the explicit consent of the host state, respecting host state sovereignty. De jure versus de facto recognition. States may grant de jure, formal legal, recognition to the government in exile, while maintaining de facto, practical/factual dealings with whoever controls the physical territory. Diplomatic and treaty capacity. Once recognized under these charters, a government in exile can retain control over foreign assets, maintain embassies, sign international treaties, and represent the nation at the UN.
I hope you are listening. It's not about church, it's not about notice me. It's not about notice me. It is about the right legal part. It is about the document. And when you listen to the criteria of knowing a saboteur or a sabotage, then you will see the outcome of these people that I put on this camera here. Then you will see what they represent when you listen to the criteria to know a saboteur and a sabotage. Under this criteria, a saboteur is that person that you are with, and when you are calling or having a meeting, he is recording you and to send it out to someone, pretending he or she is with you, while she has another different mindset. When he becomes a sabotage, is when he moves away from you and find another friends and form another group, and he becomes what? A sabotage. Under the word sabotage and saboteur, there is a physical saboteur, there is a physical sabotage. That is where these urchins, this is where this woman, Lazuba, Chikodri, Mary, Ike, onye ama Benia, Egefo, onye ama Akora, aka Achawowo, Ebongi woman. Then coming to the one claim professor, and I will continue putting you on my screen all the time to be bringing my exposition or my research to your face to prove to you that in the category of criteria of saboteur and sabotage, you fall into two of them. But the happiness is this, that is only a government in exile with a peaceful redeclaration is the only legitimate government in exile the world knew about them. That's why I use the word. It's not about what you think, how you feel. And in the beginning of this program, I give an example. They said to us about what? Like the difference is the word transition. When you are IPOB, there is no transition. When you are in Brgie, there is no transition. The transition is when from Brgie you issue a declaration or redeclare of a lost nation or new one, then you transition into a name of a country. That is what transition. And you have moved away from just a political party movement and become a political structured government that represents his own citizen at all effective size. On that, before I come back to this explanation of this audio research, listen to this question again. This is my question that I want you to listen. Coaches 042, thank you. Obonai, I see you. Thank you so much. Easy way, my brother. Thank you. Now, listen to this. Why you must become a citizen of USB. why you must take your ID card, why you must have your certificates. If you never have your own at this time. So listen to this properly.
The legal distinction between these two structures lies in the transition from political intention to formal legal capacity under international law.
Brgie is a political intention. Because when Obatobi understand it clearly that Brgie is what? Just a political intention. That is why he told us that we have to transition to USB. That this also, this Lazuba, Ebongi aka Achawowo in Finland, and the intellectuals that are around her, they don't even Nikki don't know the difference, and you don't know about political intention. But to understand that Brgie is just a political intention to the world, and you understand that formal legal capacity on international law is issuing the redeclaration of the country that all of you voted for. That is why he also told us that until we issue our peaceful declaration, that is the only time that we have the document. When you have the document, it's no longer intention, but it becomes a formal legal capacity under international law. USB is a formal legal capacity under international law.
International law evaluates exiled entities based on whether they possess a complete constitutional body capable of acting as a state authority, de jure government, versus an incomplete political group or opposition movement.
They go under Brgie. We are incomplete movement or incomplete political group or opposition movement when we are in Brgie. Because Obatobi don't want us to be under incomplete political group of opposition movement, but rather he wants us to be on this stage under international law, alleviates a government entity that issue a peaceful declaration or redeclare based on the process of a complete constitution body, a complete constitutional body capable of acting as state authority, the Jew government. That is why Obatobi is running speed. That Guruagu said, Simon, if I say that you're not doing it well, I am a madman, but stop. That is the class of these people. The same thing Guruagu did by asking Obatobi to stop. They are accomplished by them to stopping in Brgie. Are you following? Now, when Obatobi is not here, Ngozora Beze and the cabinet members are running speed. So this Lazuba, Bryce Nokoma, Shioma Okoma, Imam Adab and all of them represent position of Guruagu and IPOB that never want Biafra to become a country. They are the one that is telling USB, no, stop, because you're running speed. Don't need to redeclare. Hold on. Obatobi comes out, we start afresh. Is it not the same thing that IPOB was doing? That is what they are doing. But being that Obatobi wants what? The process a complete constitutional body capable of acting as a sovereign, acting as a state authority, the Jew government of the people through a peaceful redeclaration document.
Core structural and legal differences criterion. Entity A, complete government in exile.
Now, Entity A is government in exile. And listen to here about government in exile. B is for Brgie, that they are claiming what they don't know, and I want to tell them that ignorance is never an excuse in the eyes of the law. Please, if you're watching from YouTube, please, I want you to like the program because, or touch this emoji love, because we have some attack. They might not send those that are watching, those are liking the program. So please, endeavor to pump that emoji love and all of them there, please. Please do that so they will allow us to continue. Because once you see attack, if that emoji is not coming, YouTube might decide to do otherwise. They might knock you off from the YouTube for the moment. Now, entity A, USB, a complete government in exile, full cabinet, and the peaceful redeclaration document, the legal documentation. The legal what? The legal documentation. Please, my fellow Biafrans, I ask for one favor. If you're watching, I want you to tap the emoji love, please. I want you seriously to tap because we are under attack. They might not see those that like the program. They are not those that are watching the program to the extent they have reduced those that are watching the program to 58 people. So when you keep on touching that emoji love, then they will know that people are watching and they will allow us to rule. Do you hear about what? The complete government in exile is fully cabinet member with redeclaration legal documentation. The document Dr. Toby told you and I, until we generate this document, that is when we are no longer making noise and the world will take us serious. Yes, thank you so much. It says we like it right now. The like has entered back to 100 and something, and the watch has increased more to up to 20 something right now. So that is why it's very important. That's why it's very important. Ben, I see you. Thanks so much from TikTok. Thank you for being here. We are here, we are live, and we are direct on a program because we want Biafrans to have the message. For you to know where we are and why you must support USB declared. Why you must accept your country, because the world has already accepted it clearly. The world has already told us that the only government in exile that exists in this world is that government in exile that issued a peaceful redeclaration and have a documentation. They call it what? Look at it here. They said, entity a complete government in exile, full cabinet member with a peaceful redeclaration legal what? Document. Legal what? Legal document. We have our Shioma Ibe in the midst of us. Please close your camera. There's no need. Thank you. So you can go on and say something before I continue.
So my brother, thank you so much for the work you are doing. Honestly, no word can even be enough to say that thank you. We will be everywhere to protect what we have already gotten. So, yes, so there's nothing the enemy can do about it. As long as God gives us life and we have the time at any time, to come out to defend what we've already got, what God has put in our hands. God, do you know the meaning? Do you know how difficult it is to have this recognition? The redeclaration. Oh God, God just snapped it, as in took it from the mouth of the devil, dragon, those ones that have seven heads, and handed it to us, and these people are there fooling themselves. Well, I'm not even here to talk about them because they are just bygones. So we've had all your teachings, and it's really sinking, going deeper and deeper. you know, touching those that are maybe that are stubborn or that pretend as if they don't know what they're doing, but they know. Where I'm directing my, what I want to say now, my speech is what is actually going on in the zoo. Now, I'm linking it to what, that is to our achievements. The devil knows that we have achieved something that is so great, and they don't know what to do about it, and they are now running helter skelter, doing everything they can within their reach to kind of to cancel it or see what they can do for them to hear that, oh, this redeclaration is no more. But I am so sorry for them, because what God has done, there's nothing the devil can do about it. We have gotten what we need, and we are holding it tightly. Nobody, no devil, no evil, no matter what. If Adade Orama likes, if she likes, let her open her whatever her backyard, open it to the whole world as she's demonstrating today. Let her open it and open it. We don't care. She's just fooling herself. So what I just want to do, let me just be very sharp and brief, is I just want to link it to what is going on in the zoo. If you look, you will see that they are now trying to talk about regions. Oh, this region, that region. They just sent their evil politicians to begin to talk about regions that they will never achieve. All these things they are doing,
Distraction.
I'm telling you, just a kind of distraction. These fools don't think about their generations. They don't think about their generation as I'm speaking. What I'm fighting for is my generation. After all, how long do I even have to stay in this world? How many years now do I have left? For me to come and be fooling myself and becoming stupid. They don't think all those men that have gray hair and they are there talking about rivers, Igbo region, this, that. I'm just looking at them. I was in one of the platforms. This guy that answers younger life, and I was telling him that I was just asking him questions. What is it that you are talking about? Is it that like you trust what they are doing? You like it? Instead of you to think about your generation, look at what is going on now. This Islamization is not a joke. These people don't bother about being fast. They are slow and steady. Even if it takes them 2 million years to come, honestly speaking, they will wait and be going gradually, like even snail goes faster than they do. They are so patient. And one day, as long as you are still in Nigeria called zoo, or zoo called Nigeria, as long as you are there, that thing will crawl and consume you. This is something they don't know. But when we have our own nation, United States of Biafra, none of them can come in because it's now a state. It's now a nation. Nobody will come there and be telling us, oh, Islamization. But look at these fools. They are there talking about regions. And I'm like, what a nonsense. What after somebody will come and say, oh, Igbos don't respect elders. Igbos don't respect elders. We respect elders that respect themselves. The elders that think, that are reasonable. Elders that are ready to defend the young ones. Elders that are ready to think beyond and ahead. Knowing that I'm even saying that how many years do I have now left for me? How much more they that are over 70? Some of them are going to 80. Some of them are 60, and they're there misbehaving. So my brother, what I'm saying here is for us to hold what God has given to us tightly. I told that younger life in his platform, I said to him, the United States of Biafra will consume all of you, because all these things you are doing is rubbish. And let me tell you, it is not just them doing it, it is the West. And their eyes are on our natural resources, because they are now thinking, how can they do it now? How will it be if eventually this Biafra comes? That means their backyard business will no longer hold, because their backyard business holds through Nigeria. And immediately Biafra comes, it is now kind of formal business. If you need it, you come to us and we'll negotiate. You know, we make a deal. You will benefit and we will benefit. And not just people suffering when God has blessed us with everything in this world. And Nigeria is just there. There are people that are benefiting from it, and most people are suffering. They know that when Biafra comes, my brother, it will not be the same. That is why they continue to. It is the West that is insinuating that region, that told them, look, this thing, that these people are serious with this Biafra. Therefore, find a way to kind of make people to believe that you are doing something. Region. And I know they will fail. So I am telling my fellow Biafrans, tell your relations at home, because those ones don't even have money to eat. How much more to go and load their phone, and be listening to all this? They don't know what we are doing, because they made it so. They made it so that they will not know. You see, so let us please spread this news. Tell our relatives at home, this is the situation. This is where we are. And our Prime Minister will soon be coming out to join us. Let us put our hands together and protect this thing God has put in our hands. Nobody can take it away from us, no matter what they do. God has given it to us already. So, my people, please, let us remove our eyes from those that are fooling themselves. The punishment is there. The law is there. The law will catch up with people like Alasuba and the rest. Chomo Koma, the man and the woman, as in the husband and the wife, that cannot even hold themselves. No, none of them can say, oh, Munyem, this way you are going is not okay. Come back. The wife cannot say, oh, my husband, this way you are going is not okay. Come back. Both of them are just going like heading for destruction. Two of them, So let us not look at them, because the law will catch up with them. There is no mercy about it. There is no mercy about it. Whatever the law says about it, that is what we hold. So let me give up the mic to the next person. Thank you so much.
No worries. That is always their ways, especially when you are hitting the nail on the head,
Yeah.
So they will be disturbing you after we are tapping here.
Yes.
So in my little contribution, because my friend has already informed me that he has come online.
Is it on YouTube?
No, TikTok, Emigrate. If you come to Emigrate, that's where we meet. Even our DPM visited us day before yesterday. We were with DPM day before yesterday.
Emigrate. Okay, you have my link. When I write down, I would like to just invite me. My own is USB research team. Just give me an invite from there, and I will join.
Yeah, I'll follow you now.
Okay.
Oh, you have a club.
Yes.
You call it club, but I follow you already, yeah?
Okay.
About 131 followers.
Yes.
And 89 following, yeah. So this club, when I join, he's just asking me, what is he asking me here? To send her to me, or not yet, because my money is finished already.
Okay, no problem.
So what I'm trying to say is our former speaker, the last speaker, is our sister.
Yes.
She has spoken well, and I enjoy what she talked about. And my own contribution is this. My brother, I hate hypocrites. You know?
Yeah.
I hate when someone is not straightforward. If you see some time ago, I don't want to bring you so backwards. There's one guy from a riverine area. He said his name is Wounded Lion. He was with us during the time Biafra struggle. We are hitting it. So along the line, he withdrew himself and start castigating us. The same thing happened with Oden Kere. The same thing happened with Pastor Van Van Van. The same thing happened with Adade Orama, which they sheepishly went to Finland.
Yeah.
To go and embrace my Obatobia. Look at that. You castigated someone that what he's doing is a fraud, even if the name must be a fraud. They don't know what is going on. They thought that we are joking. They don't know that our leader Nnamdi Kanu is a high-profile person. He is our mentor, you know, and he is the philosopher. He is the seer. He is the one that wake the dead bones.
Yes.
He is the one that opened the brain of Biafrans. And when some people he gathered together to be part of the cabinet, when they saw that what he's doing is improving, they become envy. This is the only problem we Igbos have. How can he be you? Why should it be USB television that will bring Biafra?
Yes.
But at the beginning, they will not go. They will not go. But when you find a way, you will see them break down. Look at what Fulanis are doing in our home. You will not see our people come up and speak. But when an Igbo or Biafra man do such a thing, you will see one Igbo man will just come out from somewhere and say, no, that should stop. Did you see an Igbo, useless Igbo man who said that if you kill Nnamdi Kanu everywhere will be good?
Don't go now. Because they use by my TikTok, the very street this time around. Yeah.
They use by my brother just because I'm Russian. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So someone to type F1. I type F1.
Okay.
So could you imagine someone to come up with like that? But he was there. People grabbed the election, run away with it, and they still be in the parliament today. Not only that, Tinubu is borrowing money every day, every night. When they borrow, they share it. But had it meant that it's a Biafra man that is borrowing this money, I'm telling you, you will see someone from somewhere who will just come out and say, why should you do this? You don't have to do this. Okay, look at now. After this one, I will stop. I have a lot to tell. Nnamdi Kanu have already fighting this freedom. As the thing get more multitude, great multitude, Buhari come up. Nnamdi Kanu told us, "Onye to vote, Ola Ugwu Hausa." If you go and put on vote, if you place vote, you go to the north or to the west. Then everybody, the same become melody in Biafra land.
Yes.
What happened? Ohaneze will just jump up from somewhere. Oh, not the kind you have kilos, you have kilos. They have refurbished, they have reshovel, they will make what do they call it? Is it refurbish or reconstruct or whatever they're calling it? They are begging Nnamdi Kanu, saying after this, please, after this, allow them to go election, allow them to place their votes. 2 days before, Nnamdi Kanu said, okay, we're not ready to election. If you want to vote, oh yeah, go and vote. They voted and Buhari picked it up. Buhari won. Even the vote is not finished counting. They have already announced Buhari as the winner. Jonathan was shivering like a he-goat. So after that, what happened? Buhari bring us back to the well where we were before. Now, as it was going on, we suffered it for 8 years. Now, we don't have any more president. They are trying to do another election. Simon has already picked from where they kind of stopped. You see how God works. Simon pulled the people and encourage the people, give them the words, and people understand Simon that is a truthful someone. Why the ex-DOS that is following Nnamdi Kanu, they sabotage the fight. They sabotage it. So now Simon have taken us nearly to the land we are expecting or we are looking for. What happened now? They plot, they collude together and bring all kind of lies. They said Tinubu gave Simon 100 million. and at last, what happened, brother? Simon was vindicated. It was Tinubu who used the resources we have to promise Finland heaven and earth that they should keep Simon in detention till they finish the election. That was what happened. They took Simon and put him there. So now the whole world now has come for Finland to tell them how the court, how the law judge, and what do they judge. You see, now it is a big problem now to Finland. Somebody like Matanga is also inside the case now. Everyone, even America, is inside the case. They want to see how you jail this guy, even though not the kind of the same shit. They just jail somebody without even saying this is your crime. You know? So my greatest surprise now is Pastor Van have already pulled out and calling us Biafra. Why must he go to Finland to try to embrace our Obatobi? This is what I couldn't even understand. So my brother, in support of what you are doing very well. Anytime you have time, just type on the TikTok, Amy Great or Amy G.
Okay. Great. Like I said, I will round up in the next 45 minutes. So just I already have my. You can send me an invite. I will join. I like to go platforms. Let us talk about where we are and what we need to do more to achieve our country.
Okay, join me in the TikTok. Even Starman used to come there. I have seen Starman on your this thing now. Starman.
Yeah, from Star. I see Starman here. Yes.
Yeah, Starman always come to our this platform. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Starman is there. So if you come there, we are very big, and we need somebody like you who knows the truth, who speaks the truth. So
I will join once I close and take a little bit break. Then I will join the TikTok. I was supposed to be Greg send me message on S to join them, but let me be on TikTok this evening. Yes. Yeah.
Dr. Dre, D-R-Y.
Yes.
He's also come to us.
Okay. Oh, that. We are going viral. We are moving towards our own. So yesterday I was on S also. Yes, I was on Earth with him yesterday. Yes.
Then the movement will be very, very more stronger, you know?
Yes.
So no problem. Yeah.
There is no problem.
See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Bless you.
Yes, thank you, my brother. Yes, I have now. It's been long. Coaches 042. It's been a while. My brother, I hope you are there. Please have your mic.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Good afternoon, my brother.
No to loud. Right? Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Am I coming out?
Loud and clear. Can you hear me, coaches? Because I can hear you loud and clear. We are hearing you.
Good afternoon, my brother. Am I coming out? Am I coming out?
Yes. Very well.
Yes. Wow. Good evening, my brother.
Thank you, coaches.
And good evening, Biafrans all over the world. It has been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
At the same time, the zoo is panicking. Let me use the word of our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. The zoo is panicking. Because if you look at everything that is going on today, Biafra has taken over social media. The whole social media entirely. Yes, we are there. YouTube, we are there. Even the one that they even call their own myself, TikTok, we are there. Almost all the social media have taken over. And when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, we are not going to pay any international media to discuss about us, they are the ones to come in on their own. And what is going on today is happening every day by day. Another thing is this. When Mazi Simon Ekpa said you are going to sleep in Nigeria and wake up as a Biafran, all these Umokoko, they do not understand the meaning of that word. And all these people that even wear ties, like kindergarten students, like people that are looking for cleaner jobs in noisy school, they do not even look themselves in mirror before coming out. They did not look themselves in the mirror before coming out.
Honestly, they did not.
This is a very even disgrace. The one that even passed disgrace. This is what they call. How would I even put it myself? How much when he will make your family with? Most especially in Kenya, call on way Gina Win. On home, what I think they mean. What I think they misbehave. Mayor on Pibunga coach players. What does these two people, these two couples, what are they? Which advice are they going to give to their children? They are defending themselves every day by now on social media. The one that call herself at that door, why is she in France? Desire. Even the one that even happened in court today, even surprised me the most. That hugging that has been happening from our PM before they collude and kidnap our Prime Minister. The hugging that he has received since all this while is not enough for her. All of them just gather themselves on that courtroom, touching body, touching make I touch you. They are going to disgrace themselves.
Please, 1 minute. Somebody's on YouTube. Just 1 minute. Let him before you can talk, please. From TikTok. No, coach is go on.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Touching body, touching make I touch you. And every day by day, this thing is repeating itself. Mazi Simon Ekpa even tell her to stop. He said you're not going to stop. That is to tell you that all these people, they don't want Mazi Simon Ekpa to come out. What this woman, what he went to Finland to go and submit the other day, he's supposed to come out and clear Biafrans. What is in that letter that he submit in Finland? Because all these things that they are doing today, they are just showing themselves on social media, disgracing themselves. They do not want Mazi Simon Ekpa to come out. And Finland as well. If they like, they should do the needful. If they do not like, they should do what Nigerian government paid them to do. Because anything that they do today, we are not going to be surprised. You have known that Finland have been compromised on this court case. This particular one that we are seeing, Finland have been compromised. If you look what is going on in Nigeria today, every day by day, and Finland is still going on with this their nonsense trial. That is when you are going to know that Finland has been compromised. I think it's tomorrow they're going to give their final verdict or what? Or September.
September.
It's only God knows. Why do they push that into September? The same September that they jail our prime minister. They want it to complete 1 year in their cell before they're going to give their final verdict. This is supposed to be so. This is not that Finland has been compromised. Why do they keep that court ruling till September? So that they're going to have enough time to discuss with Nigerian government how far they're going to keep our prime minister before they're going to leave him. Finland, is better for you to do the needful. That's September that you will push that court ruling. It will be better for you to. Because if you not do the needful, that Finland is going to be wiped away by Elohim. This picture, I'm still talking about this picture.
Maybe smart thing, my brother.
Why can you white and white? Can do not rap. Let me stop you.
Thank you, Coach Yusuf, too. Yes, I will go. I'm going to play the 2 section of Mommy Margaret. Thank you, Mama Margaret Jaguar. Thank you so much. You are here with us. Thank you. One of the founding mother of USB declared. Thank you for being here. I am going to play the audio. The 2 section we have for getting to 4 hours, 3 hours, and so listen to the program that we have had today. About those, I put their picture here. The one I was playing, I'm going to play this one first, but I'm going to read out my question under my research. My question is, what is the difference between government in exile that issue peaceful redeclaration and they have a document and full cabinet member, and the Brgie without peaceful redeclaration and no document, no full cabinet member? So please listen to this. After this, I would like to join TikTok today to preach with them, as they already told me that I did. So I want to join that particular group and see what they are doing, and also we can be able to share our message to them.
The legal distinction between these 2 structures lies in the transition from political intention to formal legal capacity under international law. International law evaluates exiled entities based on whether they possess a complete constitutional body capable of acting as a state authority, de jure government, versus an incomplete political group or opposition movement. Core structural and legal differences criterion. Entity A, complete government in exile, full cabinet, declarations and legal documentation. Entity B, informal council movement, no formal declaration, incomplete cabinet, bridge structure. Legal status. Legal status. Classified as an opposition movement, political council or shadow committee. Constitutional basis. Asserts legal continuity via official instruments, democratic mandates, and full executive portfolios. Operates as an informal transitional committee without a completed legal executive structure. Treaty and asset control. Capable of holding sovereign state assets abroad, managing embassies and signing treaties. Cannot legally claim state bank accounts, embassies, or sign binding international agreements. Host-state relationship. Granted diplomatic immunity, host-state hosting agreements, and formal state recognition. Granted political asylum, protection, and informal political dialogue, but no sovereign immunity. 1. Legal weight of a formal redeclaration document, with declaration and documentation, under public international law, including UN Resolution 2625 and the Montevideo Convention. Formal instruments of redeclaration establish an explicit claim of sovereignty and democratic mandate. They provide third-party states with a clear legal instrument to issue de jure recognition. Without declaration, without written constitutional instruments or public redeclarations, the entity does not create a clear actionable legal claim for foreign ministries to process. Third-party states cannot recognize a legal status that has not been formally declared. 2. Full cabinet versus partial/bridge council. Full executive cabinet demonstrates institutional capacity to govern. International law requires that a body claiming to be a government maintain standard ministries, defense, foreign affairs, justice, finance, to prove it can fulfill international obligations and represent its citizenry effectively. Incomplete bridge structure. A temporary political committee without defined executive portfolios is viewed in international relations as a political movement rather than a legal government. Foreign governments may support such a bridge group politically, but they rarely grant it official diplomatic status or sovereign asset control. Path to international recognition. To move from an informal bridge to a recognized entity, international law practice typically requires promulgation of official decrees, publishing clear charter documents and re-declarations. Institutional completeness. Structuring a full cabinet that reflects legal and administrative continuity. Formal host agreement. Establishing a clear treaty or bilateral agreement with the host nation permitting executive operations on foreign soil.
I hope you heard it clearly. Any government in exile, claim government in exile without document from the declaration is just a mere political movement. Now, section 2, for you to hear it direct. Listen.
Under international law, a government in exile relies on specific legal principles, treaties, and United Nations charters to establish legitimacy and work toward formal recognition. International law prioritizes legal continuity and human rights/self-determination over mere physical control of territory when a government is ousted illegally, such as through unlawful aggression, occupation, or unconstitutional overthrows. Below is the structured breakdown of the articles, charters, and legal doctrines used to process and recognize a government in exile. Key charters and binding international treaties. UN Charter, Article 2(4), Prohibition of the use of force. Legal role. Prohibits states from using force or aggression against the territorial integrity or political independence of another state. Application. If an elected or legal government is forced out by foreign military invasion or illegal aggression, international law treats that displacement as an illegal act. Ex injuria jus non oritur, rights cannot arise from an unlawful act. Thus, third-party states continue recognizing the displaced government in exile as the sole legal authority. UN Charter, Article 1(2), and Article 55, Principle of Self-Determination. Legal role. Establishes that international relations must be built on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples. Application. If a population peacefully issues declarations backing an exiled government, international bodies view that government as the legitimate representative exercising the democratic self-determination of its people against an unrepresentative or occupying regime. ICCPR and ICESCR. Common Article 1. International Covenants on Human Rights. Legal role. All peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Application. Gives legal standing to peaceful redeclarations issued by exiled authorities when they demonstrate popular consent and democratic legitimacy from their citizens. Core international law principles governing recognition. Legal principle doctrine. What it states. Application to governments in exile. Stimson Doctrine and UN Resolution 2625. Non-recognition of illegal acts. Territorial gains or regime changes brought about by illegal force or aggression must not be recognized legally. Prevents host nations from recognizing an occupying/rebel force, maintaining the legal status of the exiled government. Principle of legal continuity. Statehood and sovereignty reside in the state's legal identity, not merely in physical office buildings or territory. Temporary loss of effective control over territory due to force does not automatically terminate a government's legal authority. Montevideo Convention, 1933. Article 3 and Article 6. Article 3 states that the political existence of the state is independent of recognition by other states. Article 6 establishes that recognition is unconditional and irrevocable, serves as the baseline framework for evaluating whether an entity fulfills the criteria of state representation and governance. Principle of democratic legitimacy, Tobar, Betancourt doctrines. Modern customary international law increasingly ties legitimate governance to democratic mandates rather than pure physical enforcement. Allows third-party states to recognize exiled leaders who hold an electoral or constitutional mandate over an autocratic usurper. UN General Assembly declarations and customary frameworks. UN General Assembly Resolution 2625, XXV, Declaration on Friendly Relations 1970, mandates that no territorial acquisition resulting from the threat or use of force shall be recognized as legal. It protects the status of ousted governments claiming their rights from abroad. UN General Assembly Resolution 1514, XV, Declaration on Decolonization 1960, provides a legal pathway for liberation movements and exiled representative councils to issue peaceful declarations of independence or redeclarations of statehood. How recognition works in practice. Host state consent. Under international law, a government in exile cannot operate legally on foreign soil without the explicit consent of the host state, respecting host state sovereignty. De jure versus de facto recognition. States may grant de jure, formal legal, recognition to the government in exile, while maintaining de facto, practical/factual dealings with whoever controls the physical territory, diplomatic and treaty capacity. Once recognized under these charters, a government in exile can retain control over foreign assets, maintain embassies, sign international treaties, and represent the nation at the UN.
I hope you are listening and you can understand why only US will declare with a document is the only legal government you have. It's very openly to understand clearly that without the declaration of a lost country or without declaration of a new nation, without that word declaration, through a government in exile, through the only government that issued declaration for the first time, is the only legitimate government you have. Not even only that, with a full capacity of a government. So the case is now is this, that any group who claim they love Simon, Abraham, they have done everything, that all road leads to what? Prepare what you have achieved to give Simon and Joko. It's not by hugs, it's not by being in Finland 1 month, 2 months. It is what have you achieved when he's not here with us. My people, I'm going to draw the curtain here until we come back tomorrow. Ugweze, thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe on our page, like the program, so that's the world we know that we are here, and we are here on the legal parts of how to achieve our nation. Today, Obatobi mentioned one thing, that I want to remove these people and place Obatobi what he said he wanted. And today, if you don't have this, that Obatobi Simon Ebanyokos, this is what I ever wanted. This only when we will stop making noise. Do you have this that matters as the main job, proving that you have been working when he's not there with us as what you will hand over to him? So please, in my conclusion, listen to this. Prepare your own document of what you have achieved and what you have done on behalf of Simon Ekpanjo when he was not there for Biafrans. Please prepare it, not by dance, not by fight, not by talk, but by action on the document. Listen to this finally.
But what are we going to gain from this convention? What we're going to gain is that every document that we're going to generate from this convention become legal document that we'll be using for the political approach and diplomatic approach for the Biafra independence and recognition. This document will be sent to the United Nations. This document will be sent to the US Department of State, US, or every department that, foreign department, the Congress and all that. We have European Union and every other region that we feel that's needed to have it to support Biafra at the UN. That's where the whole thing is going to start. Only then, Biafra will have a name. Now, it is only noise we're making. And Nigeria have understood this very well. They know where I'm going. And that's why they are restless. But I'm watching them, and they are having problem with going to India.
So I want to ask these people here, I want to ask them one question. Let me put them first. Yes, they will enter. Please, Where is your legal document that Obatobi said we need to present minus this document that we are all making noise until we present this document? That is why I'm asking all of you who claim you love Simon Ebanjoko, you hug him, you kiss him, you do everything. I am asking you, is it you are hugging and tie is what you will present to him? Is he going to Finland and doing protests is the legal document? Answer the question by yourself, but I will not leave you without teaching this message to you. What Ghana and the US did to their citizens that was against their declaration. The level of punishment they give those that was against the declaration of Namibia, those that was against the declaration of US. So I am going to play it to you. You that is against this US declared document that is calling it names. I only want to tell you that such a thing that we are doing have happened somewhere before, and how America treated those people that was against the freedom of US in the hands of evil doer Great, the hands of evil doer Britain.
The core difference between elected and appointed officials lies in how they gain their positions, who holds them accountable, and the nature of their role in government. Feature: elected officials. Appointed officials, selection method, chosen directly by citizens through a voting process, selected by a high-ranking official or governing board, often requiring legislative confirmation. Accountability, directly accountable to the vote.
Sorry, 1 minute. 1 minute.
/citizens, directly accountable to the leader or board that selected them. Term length.
Please, 1 minute.
Those who opposed the Declaration of Independence and supported the British Crown were known as Loyalists or Tories. They made up roughly 15 to 20% of the American colonial population. Rather than widespread executions, American patriot authorities and local militias relied heavily on financial, civil, and social punishments. Property confiscation and financial penalties. Confiscation Act. State legislatures passed laws allowing local governments to seize land, homes, businesses, and personal possessions belonging to Loyalists. These properties were auctioned off to fund the Revolutionary Army and support state budgets. Double or triple taxes. Loyalists were subjected to punitive tax rates, often required to pay double or triple what patriot citizens paid. Loss of legal protections. Courts stripped Loyalists of civil rights, making it illegal for them to sue for unpaid debts, practice law or medicine, or run for public office. Banishment and forced exile. Expulsion. Many states enacted laws banishing prominent Loyalists. If they returned without permission, they faced immediate imprisonment or execution. Mass migration. An estimated 60,000 to 80,000 Loyalists fled North America during and after the war, resettling in Canada, Great Britain, or British colonies in the Caribbean. Informal and mob violence. Tarring and feathering. Local militias and patriot groups frequently used mob tactics to intimidate outspoken Loyalists. Suspects were stripped, covered in warm tar and feathers, and paraded through town. Oaths of allegiance. Citizens were forced to sign public oaths renouncing King George III and swearing loyalty to the revolutionary government. Refusing to sign often led to house arrest, loss of weapons, or physical violence. Execution for treason, rare. While state governments established treason laws carrying the death penalty, executions were surprisingly rare. Revolutionary juries were generally reluctant to hand down death sentences for ideological loyalty alone. Capital punishment was typically reserved for those caught acting as active spies, leading armed Loyalist guerrilla units, or committing high treason directly on the battlefield. The 1783 Treaty of Paris, which formally ended the Revolutionary War, included clauses urging states to restore confiscated property to Loyalists. However, most American states ignored these recommendations, leaving the overwhelming majority of displaced Loyalists with no compensation.
I hope you heard the punishment America give to people like Bryce Nokoma, who is fighting against the document of US redeclared, against the redeclaration document. Now, finally, I'll give you the one from Ghana. After that, going to draw the curtain from here.
Following Ghana's independence in March 1957, Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah and the Convention People's Party, CPP, implemented strict legal, political, and penal measures to suppress opposition groups, primarily the Ashanti-backed National Liberation Movement, NLM, UE activists in Togoland, and the Northern People's Party. The Special Court of No Appeal, the tribunal frequently referred to as the Court of No Appeal, was formerly known as the Special Criminal Division of the High Court, established via the Criminal Procedure, Special Criminal Division, Act of 1961, and expanded under the 1963 Amendment. Structure and jurisdiction. Designed specifically to try cases of high treason, sedition, and political offenses, such as assassination plots like the 1962 Kulungugu bombing targeting Nkrumah. No jury and in-camera proceedings. Trials were held without a jury and were frequently conducted in camera, behind closed doors hidden from the public and press, inside the Supreme Court building and Christiansburg Castle at Osu. Absolute non-appealable verdicts. Under the law establishing this court, there was no right of appeal to any higher judicial body. Decisions were final. Executive overrule. When a three-judge panel led by Chief Justice Sir Aku Korsa acquitted three prominent politicians, Tawiah Adamafio, Ako Adjei, and Kofi Crab, of treason in December 1963, Nkrumah immediately dismissed the Chief Justice, declared the court's judgment null and void, and reconstituted the special court with a single judge, Justice Sarkodie Adu, and a selected 12-man panel. The defendants were retried, found guilty, and sentenced to death, later commuted to life imprisonment. Full range of punishments imposed. Beyond the special court, the state deployed several legal mechanisms to punish political opponents. Preventive detention without trial, 1958 PDA. The Preventive Detention Act empowered the government to arrest and jail anyone suspected of acting against state security for up to 5 years, later extended to 10 years, without formal charges or trial. Over 2,000 citizens were jailed. Prominent founding fathers like Dr. J.B. Dankwa and Emmanuel Obetsebi Lamti died under harsh conditions in Ensawam Medium Security Prison. Deportation and stripping of citizenship. The Deportation Act of 1957 allowed the state to expel any person deemed not in the interest of the public good. Although intended for non-citizens, it was routinely used against Ghanaian political opponents by stripping them of their citizenship rights. Outlawing political parties. The Avoidance of Discrimination Act of 1957 banned political parties organized along regional, ethnic, or religious lines. By 1964, a referendum turned Ghana into a legal one-party state, making opposition entirely illegal. Deposition of chiefs. Opposition paramount chiefs, especially in Ashanti, were stripped of official state recognition, had their traditional stool revenues seized, and were replaced by government loyalists. Estimated numbers forced into exile. Exact figures vary because many crossed porous borders informally, but records document the following migration totals. Togo border exile, 1958 to 1961. French Togoland, later the Republic of Togo, documented approximately 5,700 registered political refugees who fled eastern Ghana following the 1957 Togoland plebiscite disputes and post-independence roundups. Prominent leaders and intellectuals. Top opposition figures, including opposition leader Dr. Kofi Abrefa Busia, who fled in 1959, and intellectual leaders of the United Party (UP), fled to Western Europe, primarily the UK, and neighboring West African states to establish anti-Nkrumah exile coalitions. Overall estimates. Scholars and historical records estimate that between 6,000 and 10,000 Ghanaian citizens fled into exile between 1957 and the 1966 military coup that ousted Nkrumah.
I hope you are hearing it. Ghana. The punishment Ghana give to those that was against the Prime Minister that issued the Declaration of Ghana 1957. I hope you have had the punishment. We are going to draw the curtain here until you come back again. We may come back late night again if we have the time permit us to come back to continue to be asking these people this question and giving them where they belong. Time will tell. And we are here, we are watching, they play, they show. Are you not seeing it? Continue your madness. Finland is about to end this matter so you can go back to where you belong. When women and men undermine the truth, the consequence will be severely, and Hadino comes at last. And the consequence will draw hotness to you. So my fellow Biafrans, those on YouTube, I greet you all. Mommy Margaret, thank you so much for being with us. And those on TikTok, my hands off all of you. Thank you. Watch out. We'll come back again. Subscribe. Like our program. Comment. It's very good if you do so. Thank you so much, my people. I want to join a group on TikTok from here after this. I want to share with them what they have there and also deliver the message of government in exile that issue a peaceful redeclaration, the only legal way to achieve our lost nation. Thank you, my people, from me from here. Good night. Or bye for now.